This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast.
Okay, we're ready.
I'm like Dylan Meg. I'm not ready yet again. Welcome everybody, and happy Memorial Day to those of you that celebrate the holiday. I think for people that are in the U.S. And other people that celebrate it, we really appreciate all those who've made it possible for us to be here. And it's kind of an interesting day. I've had the day off. I barbecued. I ate right before the show. Usually I do the show when I'm starving, so I'm glad to be here. Meg, how are you? I just realized I'm not ready with the topics at the bottom, but how you been? Say hi to everybody.
I'm doing good, and it's such a weird thing to say Happy Memorial Day because of what it represents in the United States about, you know, the people who sacrificed their lives for your freedoms, for our freedoms, for the Western, you know, but for a lot of Western cultures. I know a lot of people don't agree with it in the politics and everything else, but you can't deny that people gave their lives for something they believed in and giving us what we have right here, right now, to be able to talk on the internet and talk about stupid stuff and this and that, whatever, instead of waking up every day wondering if we're going to survive the day. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you know, having those, what I like to call that first world problems. It's great that we have those first world problems, but they're built on a foundation of sacrifice. And so this is the kind of day that you know that those people are not forgotten. The men and women who are part of who are part of the armed forces, you are never forgotten, ever. So remember that, and then that's a thank you from all of us outside of the U.S. as well, because you know what, we're all brothers and sisters, all of us. So in the end, we're all taking care of each other. Anyways, let's get into the show.
I appreciate that. I have a lot of people in my family that are veterans that have served big wars or been in the military and served their country, and a couple people that I've lost in my family. So yeah, I appreciate it. It over here in the U.S., it can really boil down to when you barbecue and boat, but Mag says it really well, and we're glad to have you here. Yes, I know there are some. There's always a very acerbic title when we talk about gaming news, which we'll get into. One of the things that we will talk about today is some Xbox games on PlayStation and why, and kind of get an understanding of where that stuff comes from. We will talk about that, and we'll try to make that as reasonable as possible. I know a lot of people are like, it's not fair. Where's the trade? What do we get from PlayStation? But we'll talk about why that's not really how that works, right? So I'm updating trying to update the topics. So
it's okay. Yep.
I think last week was kind of an off week. And welcome, everybody. This is the XC Podcast. I haven't quite said that, but we're on episode 151. I'm here with Middle-Aged Game Guy. I switched around the guitars because in my last video, someone said how sad that he's got those guitars back there and he doesn't play them. Well, these two I play very often, and then I've got an acoustic over here I play the most. And I'm taking guitar lessons, Mag, something I've been doing since about January. I take weekly guitar lessons every Wednesday. It's a half an hour. It's the fastest half an hour I've ever experienced. My eyes have been open. I've been getting musical discovery. I've been one of those guys that's like, I don't know anything about music, but I could play this on the piano or I can play this on the guitar. I don't understand what music means, and it's been a really cool thing. Out of all the stuff that we do when we're talking about games, we play as many games as possible. I try to build this podcast and a channel, and I'm like, there's some other things that I'm trying to enjoy as well. So first, Mag, you tell me what you've been playing this week, and I'll tell you what I've been playing.
Been trying to, honestly, it's been a really busy week. I had a lot of crazy things going on. Can you believe it? 30-year high school reunion this year. So I was out doing that a lot of the weekend, no gaming. And then what little gaming I did get in there, I was trying to wrap. You know, it's really funny. Someone reached out to me and they said, Mag, you're not at the end of Senua's Saga. You still got like a little ways. You still got a little ways to go, judging by, you know, your progress. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so I kept playing and I'm like, this game's not ending. It just kept going. And so I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess I'm not done. And I did all that stuff with the spheres. I'm not going to get into the spoilers.
I thought it was a 5-hour game, though, Mag.
It's definitely not 5 hours. I mean, I don't know how, like, some of those puzzles, they weren't really tough, but when you figure out what to do, then it became easy. I'm like, oh, okay, well, now that's, like, totally simple. But when you're trying to follow things like, you know, like those light particles, like in the cave, and you're like, okay, if I move this, oh, I see, like the light particles shows what
the dimension orb is what I call them in my mind.
Yeah. Right. And so you see the light particles and you're like, what the hell am I staring at? And then when you remove the orb, it becomes solid and you can walk on it. And I'm like, Oh, okay. So once you figure out the puzzles, they're actually pretty rudimentary. They're pretty silly and simple. But it took a few minutes to figure some of them out, right? Because you're just sitting there going, okay, what am I supposed to do here?
Right.
But anyways, I did that. I was doing that, more of that, and then of course, I just got one. I got one thing left to do in AC Mirage, and then I get that 100. So I'm excited to get that, and I can wipe that out of the hard
It's a
drive.
better game than I thought it would be. I ended up really enjoying it. Glad I stuck with it.
It is a good game. I really enjoyed it, and
Good
the
looking
story
game too.
was. It's a very good looking game. The story's a little bit weirder than the other ones. Like it seemed pretty simple at first, and you're like, okay, you're doing this and the Khalifa and all this other stuff and whatever power struggle. Your standard Assassin's Creed kind of stories, right? Where you got the masked, the masked ones, and they're the ones who, basically running the underbelly of society and all that, and pulling all the strings. And then of course you have the hidden ones trying to bring justice to the world and blah 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 blah. But then it gets into all that weird stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Every Assassin's Creed game is the same. They get into that weird stuff. You don't know if it's alien stuff. You don't know if it's like ancient civilization. What the hell is going on? Why does everything look like the inside of a ship from Halo? Like, you know what I mean? You look around, they've got like all those weird monoliths and stuff, and it looks just like a Halo game. And I'm like, did I get transported?
I don't really like that stuff anymore. I'd rather Assassin's Creed just become purely historic. Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean,
I would actually be fine if they stuck to purely historic and none of that. What the hell's the name of that company?
Abstergo or whatever, but
Abstergo. They could cut all the Abstergo stuff out, and I wouldn't give a rat's buttocks.
I mean, some of the futuristic tombs are okay, but I also like that because of that. Abstergo doesn't sound right to me, even though I've played like 15 AC
I think
games.
it is. I think it's Abstergo. I've played them all.
I like that part of the game brings Assassin's Creed, like the magical, like the powers, like that you could do some extra cool stuff. But I put a poll up to see if people want to talk about shadows.
No, that's definitely not happening.
Yeah.
But anyways, anyway, that's what I've been doing because, like I said, I had a lot going on this week. It was busy work week, and then of course I had the reunion this weekend, so that took up a bunch of my time. So yeah, it's pretty wild, and then it's kind of mind blowing. You know what I mean? I'm like 30 years. Like, what the hell happened in 30? Like, what have I been doing for 30 years?
Yeah.
And you just realize, you just feel like it was just yesterday, right? But
mine's next year. I messaged my friend on his birthday last week, and he's like, "Are you going to the reunion?" I'm like, "What? Oh, yeah." He didn't even say. I'm like, "Oh yeah, 30 year next year." Yeah, I guess so. I guess you get old really quick. But when I think about all the games we've played, we earned the age, right?
Oh, dude, have we ever? Yeah. So there is speaking of games,
I just missed the cat.
He does this at the beginning of every show. He jumps up. He did this last week too. It's always in the first 10 minutes. He finds out. Well, the female doesn't do nothing. She just goes and sits on the couch. But as soon as I get on the air, he's like, "Wait a minute, he's not paying attention to me. I got to jump in there. I got to show myself in the thing." But anyways, let's talk, buddy. What are we talking about? Let's go.
Well, yeah,
into it.
I was gonna say I was playing Enslaved Odyssey of the West last week, and then I don't know why. I mean, I finished Hellblade. I was gonna say at the beginning of the show that you and I did the show last week, and it was pretty quiet because I think most of our audience is like, watch Meg and Colt yap their gums or play Hellblade because now that it's out and we're home from work, and I think a lot of people made the right choice and played the game. So we didn't really get into a bunch of the news. But after I finished Hellblade, I finished Jedi Survivor, which I was on like the last couple hours. So I finished that after Hellblade. So I'm glad I finished that one. And then this is so weird. I put in like 7 or 8 hours of Starfield this weekend. I was playing it kind of low and slow, and I did things where you bring up enemy on foot combat is really, really difficult. I put it at the highest damage output on enemies and myself, so it cranked up XP, and then I made the ship combat easy because it can be crappy sometimes, and just some of the immersion stuff. And I was like, holy crap, I always forget how much I enjoy Starfield. I couldn't believe how much enjoyment I got on my like 300th or 400th hour. So I spent a bunch of time playing Starfield and kind of really getting into the vibe, and you forget. Sometimes games are better than you remember. So anyway, that's what I did.
Oh, that's awesome. I was going to say, you mentioned Jedi Survivor. If you go for the full completion, and I'm talking about all the bounties and all that. You know, like when you go in the cantina and all that, and then they have that that woman sitting there, and you could do the bounties and all that.
Yeah.
If you go back and do all the bounties and everything else, there's a special surprise at the very, very end. I won't. It's a whole. But I mean, it's.
I did one bounty. I collected like 18 plants, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just kind of pushed myself to the end. I ended up liking Fallen Order a lot more than this one. But
I like this one more than Fallen Order because I found the map to be slightly easier in this one. I know that both maps suck, but this map sucks less than the other map, right? So I was like, okay, well, I can handle that. Yeah, as you know, I'm a completionist, right? So I gotta get either that 1,000 or in this case, I had it on PS5 because I game share with my pony wife. So I got the platinum on it. But anyways, if you do all the bounties, this goes for you in the chat too. If you get all the bounties, there's a special Easter egg that shows up in a whole little side mission that I didn't see coming for a mile away, and it was effing awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. So, anyways, that's all I'm gonna say. So, if anybody goes for it and has the time to actually do that 100% on the game, and then do all those bounties and everything else, you'll get a special reward at the end of all that. It's really cool. So, anyways, I'll leave it at that. But we got some things to talk about, man. We got some big things coming up.
Have some news, don't we? We have news. Some of the stuff actually was truncated and not talked about. We went so far into the Hellblade discussion last week. So let me bring up my topics here.
While you're doing that, Pierre David Moreau, obviously you never finished Star Wars Jedi Survivor because you're a fraud. Can't carry on, Cole.
Yeah, thought it did not finish it. Okay, I'm trying to get everything situated here. So, yeah, I can't. It's impossible. So one of the things I guess we'll talk about was the big news about Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass. Like that was something that a lot of people didn't think was going to happen. But one of the bombshells that dropped was that Call of Duty is going to be a cross-generational title. I was working on a video for Xbox's showcase. I was in the middle of working on it when the news dropped that, oh, no, actually, this was the news. No, actually, Call of Duty is not a full next-generation title. I had that written in my script. I was putting stuff together, and Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming said he got from a reliable source, and then it ends up being true, that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is fully cross-generation. And Meg, did you hear the sole reason why it is cross-generation?
There is no reason. There's only an answer. Money. They're not going to throw the money away because the engagement on the PS4 and on the Xbox One consoles are still rather prevalent. They're not going to throw away that cash. Just because Bobby Kotick jumped out of the window with his golden parachute. Yeah, just because he jumped out of the window with his golden parachute now is about to be the CEO of something else. You think they were going to give up that money? You think the greed was going to end? It's not going to end. They're not going to make it for next gen. It is going to be what it is, and it's going to be full. Now, I saw some people going back and forth in it all week. One day I got news reports. Nope, next gen only. I'm like, okay, all right, next gen only. Makes sense. It's 4 years into the generation, for Christ's sake. You figure it'd be only this gen, right? And I'm like, nope. And then they're saying now it's cross gen, now it's this, now it's that. And I'm like, you know what? Makes more sense that it's cross gen. Now, if you think about it, some people are pissed off about it, and they're like, you know what, that's ridiculous. Why is it still cross-gen, blah, blah, blah. If you look at some of the cross-gen titles we've already gotten this generation, they're pretty amazing. Like, I mean, if you look at some of those games that we've already got, like, first of all, the other Call of Duties are still great games. I play them all. I mean, I know a lot of people have a bone to pick with Modern Warfare 3, but I liked it. I liked it a lot.
That was the last one?
That was the last one.
It was like the lowest rated one in a long time, too.
It was the lowest. Yeah, I mean, I just personally enjoyed it. And then if I look at other cross-gen titles that, like, for example, Sony was releasing, they were great. I was playing Horizon Forbidden West and at 60 FPS in an open world, stunningly gorgeous. And you know that ABK, or Activision in this case, Activision have incredible tools at their disposal and a ton of money to do, especially for Call of Duty, because they make a ton of money. Mm-hmm. They're going to get the same thing. You're going to get a fantastic package, great graphics. You're going to get your 60 FPS and above if you have the capabilities, and it's going to be great. I don't see what the problem is, man. I really don't, because at the end of the day, Call of Duty's Call of Duty, and it's always fun, and it's always really, really good, and it's well put together, and it just plays well. It just not to sound like it just works. I'm not going to sound like Todd there, but it is true. It just works, and it's damn fun. And this is a Black Ops game, and the majority of it. I mean, I know we were kind of quoting it as calling it Gulf War. People are like, "Oh, it's not Gulf War." I'm like, "Well, actually, it is Gulf War. Most of it takes place around that time anyway, and a lot of it has to do with. Actually, if you look at one of the posters, did you see the posters? There's a flash on it, and it has coordinates.
Is it like 1990 era?
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
So what happens is,
like
so there's a poster. Yeah. So what happens is there was a poster, and these coordinates fire up on the screen just for like a split second. Those coordinates are Saddam Hussein's palace in Iraq.
Okay.
So you know what I mean. So like, I mean,
is it too late to go find him if we use those coordinates?
Gulf War, people. Well, we can find him, but you know, we have to go to the other side. But you know what I mean? But anyways, the thing is, so like little cool things like that. I've always been a fan of Black Ops, except for Black Ops 4, which was a pile of ass trash. But that's besides.
I don't even remember Black Ops 4.
I don't think anybody remembers Black Ops 4 because it was garbage. Even the zombies, which I'm a monster fan of, no pun intended. I'm a huge fan of zombies.
Oh, that's all I did was play the zombies on that one.
Yeah, that was the one on the cruise ship, which I thought great setting for zombies. Cruise ship, amazing idea, right? It sucked, and so did the multiplayer was just garbage. So, but the other Black Ops with the stories, fantastic. Absolutely love them. So I always like that espionage thing, especially, all the American, the PSYOPs and the Black Ops stuff. And you know what I mean? And all that stuff is great, man. I'm really into that espionage sort of thing. And like the Tom Clancy stuff. And oh man, that's right up my alley. Conspiracy things. So I'm really looking forward to this, man. Really looking forward to this.
Okay.
The reveal is going to be a lot of fun, I think.
We went on quite the tangent about Call of Duty, and you were saying,
sorry.
No, that's fine. I think it's fine. Is it okay? Is he okay? Okay, it's okay.
It's okay. Check with the producer. Make sure it's okay.
They're saying kill him. Okay.
Yeah, right. Kill him. I'll be playing on both consoles, by the way. So I mean, I know it's cross-platform, whatever, as long as you got your Activision ID. But I have Game Pass, so I'll have it on Xbox. And I have it on the PS5 for my pony wife, who we game share, right? So we'll be playing on PlayStation, and I mean, it doesn't really make a difference where you're playing. You're playing, you know what I mean? So I told like Xbox people are like reaching out to me. They're like, Mag, I want to play COD with you, but they said it doesn't show up in your Xbox. I'm like, so I give them my Activision ID, and then that's it. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're there. We're playing.
Yeah.
Right? So
one of the reports was that 49% of players across the modern Call of Duties are on PS4. So a very small amount of that would be on Xbox One and Series consoles, right? And then I don't know how many people on PC play Call of Duty, but I don't know what those numbers make up. And I don't care. But it's so funny when you say what is the reason it's money is so perfect, because Call of Duty is not looking to give us a next generation experience to give us the payoff on our new console. They're not looking to give anyone the next generation experience on their 4090. That's not even what Call of Duty is. That's almost like asking Fortnite to give you your full next generation experience. They want everyone to have a great experience, because the more they can get in, the best. So let's talk about Game Pass. Everyone thought that was not a feasible or a sustainable idea to put Call of Duty on Game Pass. There are rumors, even we talked about Call of Duty staying off of the Game Pass model and being like tiered up or being left on and coming into Game Pass 1 month or 3 months later. And I kind of believed that for a while, but it looks like it's their day and date. What do you expect for how are customers going to approach the next Call of Duty knowing that it's on Game Pass, PC, and Xbox?
This is an exciting fall. I was talking about it with the Primetime Gaming crew. By the way, go sub to Mr. Boomstick XL, Double Barrel Gaming.
Sub to him and then unsub, then resub again.
And then resub again. Yeah, do all of that stuff. Do whatever Colt said to do. Anyways, I was talking about them with the chat, and there was Everborn Saga and Kay Asante and Wandering Dutch.
Slime balls, those guys.
Oh my God, frauds, the whole lot of them. And
Yep.
of course, Mr. Boomstick, and we were all chit-chatting about Call of Duty, and we were talking about, and I brought it up, and I said, how exciting is it going to be in the fall as a podcaster, YouTuber, whatever, and just to see the metrics of how this is going to play out. And I don't really care how it plays out because it's going to make gangbusters no matter what. Like that's never an issue. It's not like Activision is in any fear of being shut down if they don't make their numbers or something. That's not going to happen. I just want to see where people are going to consume this game, and that's what's going to be interesting. Because I did look up the pie graph or the pie chart of who plays what and what plays where and this and that whatever. And the vast majority of players play on PC. The second one, yes, because that was shocking to me.
They're telling us 49% are on PS4. So,
yeah. I was going to get to that.
Sorry, go ahead.
The majority was actually the PC players. Then second place
my producer's telling me to shut
Sony.
up. Go ahead.
Then second, I'm just going to call it the Sony platforms because that includes PS4, PS5.
Sure. Yeah.
And then in a very distant third, unfortunately, is Xbox. And it was like really low. Like I think the last numbers were like 6 or 7% of the market share. And that's dude, I'm telling you,
for like Xbox One and Series, just Xbox consoles.
It might have been just the Xbox Series. I'm gonna have to pull up that part, the pie chart again, because I had
if you
it here.
Can find it while we're talking. That would be.
Yeah.
I've never even seen this.
Someone in the chat, 100% is gonna find it faster than I will because we're in the middle of a show. However, the point is, I didn't do that for any reason to like crap on like, oh, look at how bad Xbox is doing. No, what it is that now that it's being offered on Game Pass. How is this going to change the demographic of where the game's going to be played? Because now, are PC players going to sub to Game Pass on PC Game Pass? Are the Xbox players are they going to get a big bump in subscriptions on Game Pass? Because now it's available on Xbox Game Pass, presumably. They haven't officially said it, but I mean, they pretty much did. But you know what I'm saying? So like those numbers are all going to shift now. But I'll tell you one thing though, the PS4, PS5 players ain't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to go out and buy different hardware or look for a different way to get it when they could just get it the same way that they've been consuming it all these other years. They'll just buy the game. I don't see any change in that department. What I do see change in is the PC and Xbox ecosystem. And I want to see how those numbers shift in terms of sales and in terms of subs, because that's going to be very exciting to see how people are going to consume the game. Right? So I don't know, man. It's gonna be a wild fall. I'll tell you that much.
Call of Duty going into Game Pass, Mag, will be the biggest game that's ever launched in the service. If you don't count the time like GTA 5 dropped in there twice, because GTA 5 is still one of the biggest games. So I would just say that Call of Duty dropping in Game Pass day and date. Well, yeah, day and date. It's definitely the biggest game that Game Pass has ever seen, dropping day and date. PlayStation guys hate it when you use the word day and date. It'll be the biggest one that drops there ever, right? It's going to be the biggest selling game. So I would assume, there would be an uptick in subscribers, and maybe Xbox and PC owners are like, I'm getting this one on Game Pass. I think we talked about that last week where we said, if somebody spends $70 on Call of Duty and they're like, I really only play it for the first 2 months. I play it balls out like nonstop for 2 months, and then my buddies and I move on to something else, and they put their hands like this. Oh my gosh, we're moving to something else.
They do jazz. They do jazz hands.
Like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Let's go do something else now. And then
guys, Call of Duty's over. Jazz hands. We're moving on to X Defiant, which had
big numbers, right?
X Defiant players do a lot of jazz hands, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, by the way, I found
those Ubisoft fanboys. I'll tell you what.
Pierre, David Moreau, 100% one of them. I found the graph, by the way, and it's actually corroborated by five different sources. They all have the same thing. So
you found it? Okay.
It turns out that 51%. I didn't include mobile. They included mobile in this.
Oh
one.
yeah, that's right.
So 51% of the market share goes to Call of Duty Mobile. 25% to PC, 16% to the PlayStation. Now, this is by ecosystem, not split up by consoles. Right?
Cool.
So PlayStation just means PlayStation. PS4, PS5. Xbox would be Xbox One, One S, One X, Series consoles, whatever. They only make up 8% of the market.
Was this from Reddit, this pie chart?
No, well, it's on I found it on like 5 different tech sites here. The one I'm looking at right now is DSO Gaming, and then there's another one called Playground.ru, and then there's Tweaktown, and then there's a whole bunch of them. They're all showing the same chart. Now, Whether this is 100% accurate, don't really know. But these are the metrics that I've seen.
Sounds good enough. Sounds good enough for XSC podcast.
It sounds pretty plausible that mobile would be 51% because Call of Duty
PC
mobile
I thought would be 25. 25% was like my guess for PC. If 50% are on PS4. I don't think a lot of people play on PC, and it looks like if that chart's accurate. And that's how we'll present things to you. You know, there'll be things that Mag and I will talk about on the show that we've heard, we have some confidence in, and we'll just present it to you like that. And when I shared out the show on social media, Mag, I said, we're going to talk about Halo and Gears coming to PlayStation, and people attack me like, why are you doing this? I'm like, well, I'm not doing this. We're just talking about what we're hearing and in an eventuality or plausible or possible thing. So yeah, the numbers on Call of Duty. I mean, when you look at that pie chart, Mag, what does that tell you? You think you'll see a spike in Game Pass? Because Game Pass hasn't really seen...
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, dude. I think it's going to be really exciting to see if there's going to be a shift in the way it's consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, like, for example, for me, like, I'm getting it twice. I'm paying for it on the PlayStation. So they're getting my $100 Canadian. They're getting that from me because my wife and I on a different console, right? And she didn't have Game Pass. But my daughter and I have Game Pass. Okay. Right? I'll be getting it. I'll be playing it by default because I have Game Pass now, and she won't let me unsubscribe because, you know, that crocodile game is too good, you know, and she's playing Goat Simulator 3. She can't stop playing. So anyways, the point is, you know how many messages
hang on, Hargeet corrected me. And you know, I read one of these things on a flyby thing. I was just like driving by and rolled down my window and said, hey, I got news. He says 49% is out of the total PlayStation players. So according to Hargeet, what I read, what I was supposed to be reading was out of all of the PlayStation players that play Call of Duty, 49% of them were on PS4, meaning half of, so the other 49 or the other 51% would be on PS5. So yes. not of the total players of Call of Duty, the total PlayStation players.
Right.
Thank you,
but
Hargeet,
if you added up
for that.
So if you added up the 48% and the 51% or 52%, whatever, that still only makes up 8% of the 16% of the Call of Duty market.
That's what I wanted to know.
By the way, shout out to Tuggernaut in the chat. He's the one who actually pulled up said that pie chart was from the FTC trial.
Beautiful. Okay.
So that's where it came from. So the majority at the end of the day, I don't think really the big thing is really, let's say, us console gamers and PC gamers, it's that mobile money. Because that mobile money making up 51% is massive. But it's not surprising because a lot of countries that wouldn't be able to get, let's say, you know, the Xbox or PlayStation console or even have access to a PC, they all got cell phones. Right? So, you know what I mean? So everybody's got a cell phone. You could easily play. And I played Call of Duty Mobile. It is actually shockingly really good. Yeah. Like it plays incredibly well. It's very tight control. The controls are tight. It's very intuitive. I love it. And it's really a lot of fun. But I mean, I'm not a mobile gamer. I just want to fart around a little bit when I was at work. Yeah.
Can I railroad the show about a mobile game I played the other day?
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
I had my family over. We were hanging out the other night, and my daughter's like, "Hey, let's play dress for Success." I think it's what it's called. It's a Roblox game, and so my wife's like, "Install it on your phone." I'm like, "I don't want to install Roblox on my phone. What kind of
no, don't do it.
What kind of crazy person do you think?" Okay, I'm installing it, and so we played this game. And Roblox, for those of you who aren't engaged on Roblox, it's coming to PlayStation finally, apparently. Roblox is basically like a wonky Lego type total universe, like millions and millions of game modes. One of them was where you go into an internet lobby and there's like a dressing room and everyone has 2.5 minutes to dress their character up and make them look fancy. And there's like a theme. One of them was Disney princesses. And so I'm on my phone controlling this Lego character, trying to dress my Lego character female up and make her look fabulous. Meg knows because you've messed around with Roblox. The graphics are ridiculous. My phone was melting in my hand from the graphics that were cranking on that, the 3D graphics. I'm like, my phone's getting hot. And then you dress, and then you all walk down the runway and you vote for who's the best, and they put them on the podium. And it was probably the least masculine thing that I did that day. Just that day.
Just that day, though. That didn't include the next day. I want to address a few people in the chat. Skill at Will was just saying, Mag, now imagine a next-gen Xbox handheld with the ability to play COD Mobile and COD console. I would be more down to that than paying like for a $700 console. That would be more. I think I'd be more interested in that. The other thing was,
do you like handhelds?
I like it has to be sizable and it has to be light. Like, for example, I don't care what anybody says. I have the PS Portal, and the PS Portal is, I mean, I know it's just a streaming device from the console, but it works great because everywhere I go, I have superior internet, so it's not a problem. And the screen is fantastic. The screen is gorgeous, and it's big, and it's like I said, it's very light. And of course, it has the DualSense 5 features and all that stuff. So I enjoy that because my old ass eyes can actually see what's going on because the screen is big enough. But when I look at like the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, the screen's not big enough. And therefore, and even with glasses, I'm gonna have to be like squinting. Nah, that ain't my bag. So it's got to be sizable. It's got to be a good quality. But the screen is most important because I need to see what I'm doing. Gone are the days of me playing a Game Gear where the screen was the size of a bloody U.S. stamp. You know what I mean?
The ROG Ally has a 1-inch smaller screen, but in a handheld, that's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal on that. And Malik, I saw what you said. He's like, COD is melting phones. Stop the cap. Yeah, if they were melting that many phones, there'd be a problem. But seeing that 51% of the market are still playing on phones, they're doing just fine.
3D graphic phone or 3D graphic games are really heat up a phone. It's crazy. Oh, yeah.
But I mean, depends on what kind of if you got like a new you have to.
I mean, I have a 22. Like it's a couple years old.
Should be good. Yeah, that should
but it gets warm playing Roblox. I was like, I don't like this, and my battery's like.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So,
but anyway, either way,
what do you think about this? There was another article that came out that Jez Corden was saying it was sort of misrepresenting some of the reports that Blandal Thor 19 and him were talking about on their Xbox Snooze podcast. Shout out to them.
Shout out to Blandal Thor in the chat, by the way. Did you see his name in there?
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, and shout out to those guys who do a show every Friday, except when they're feeling a little bit sleepy, tired, or maybe there was a light storm in their area that knocked out their internet for days. But
and then they decide to do it on Monday night when we do our show and ruin everything. Yeah. Shout out to that. Yeah, shout out to that, Rand.
We're not bitter though, are we, Mag?
Jez is kind of quiet. He's not really. He's kind of innocent. No, he's not innocent, but he's quiet.
He's very quiet. They're both awesome guys. Yeah.
Rand is more like the Emperor from Star Wars. I don't know.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, there was an article written about Xbox allowing other companies to make their own console or like their own small set-top PC box. Or
like 3DO or like Atari and 3DO back in the day?
Yeah, like a small form factor PC that's like comes with a great 2.1 HDMI cable and a wireless controller or whatever. Like, I think there is a market, Mag, for people who are like, I don't want a big desktop PC in my family room, but if it looks a little more sleek, like, your PC tower is this big, right? As big as my screen can allow on the show.
Sure.
But if you shrink it down to like this and you could put it under your TV and it's a PC and it doesn't look ridiculous, like people might, it's $800 instead of buying a $1,200 PC. It's like, it's all ready to rock. I don't know if there's a market in that right now. There wasn't really one 10 years ago when they tried it. But here's the big question, Mag.
Right.
If Xbox is losing money on consoles, how in the fudge is some other company like Lenovo or Samsung or whatever going to make their own console PC and make money off of it?
I don't see it. The reason why is we've reached a point in our society, especially North American society, of what I like to call risk-averse business. And it's gotten to the point where it's so bad that it's affecting our arts. It's affecting our entertainment. That includes movies, TV, video games, books, a lot of stuff, not everything, but a lot of things. People wondering, like, why does everything suck right now? Or why is everything just the same crap, just cranked out over and over? And it's like nothing new, nothing interesting.
We're also getting jaded, but go on.
Well, that also goes in cycles. But nobody has balls anymore. And the reason why is because everything is now run by corporate and it's all risk averse. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, they're afraid. Everybody's afraid to not make a ton of money. You know what I mean? And so what happens is,
I mean, they've watched everyone go out on a limb to try and make big money. Like, hey, this is the formula that makes a great movie or great TV show or great video game. They go out on a limb and then they don't make any money. Let me sidebar this for just a second, because I think you'll love this conversation, Mag. My family and I went into the movie theater on Saturday or Friday, and we watched The Fall Guy. Okay? Now, this movie has not made any money. So what I wanted to talk to you about, I think you'll love this. All right, audience, stick with me. We're going to talk about movies for just a minute. We went to the movie theater. There was... Oh, I forgot. I went with just my wife. There was... Okay, this is kind of a layered thing. Okay, we went to the 9 o'clock movie. The 7 o'clock movie, when we got there, the 7 o'clock movie was just getting out, and my buddy was there. He's like, oh, it was packed. And I was like, oh, cool. We went in. There was like 5 people in the theater when we went at 9. So before the movie started, the director and Ryan Gosling were sitting in front of the camera, and they did like a public service announcement. And they said, they were doing this thing where they were texting each other. You could just hear the, and they were sending each other messages, sitting right next to each other. And they're like, oh, hey, how you doing, audience? Hey, we're really glad you're here to watch the movie, but we know you want to be on your phone, and we're glad you're here watching the movie at the theater instead of streaming. But, if you need to use your phone, Ryan Gosling, can you do kind of hide it in your jacket so you can do your texting and, no one can see it, and then you can watch the show? And I was sitting back going, holy crap. This is a message to, help me out, Mag. What's the generation that's now teenagers? What are they called? Or the 20-year-olds? Like
a-holes? Oh, like an official name. Oh, okay. I don't know. What are they? They're not Gen X. They're
well, we're Gen X. I don't think it's Gen Y is like Gen millennials. The millennials are in their 30s. They could be getting into their 40s. I think they're like the help us out. I don't know. Most of the people in our chat are not 20 years old, right? So they were just giving this message that I think Hollywood's realized that the young people that are in their teenagers or 20s, they don't want to go to the movie theater. They don't want to be told they need to go somewhere where they have to dock their phone for 2 hours. Like, they live in a world where they pick up their phone, they record everything, and I do it a lot too. They're always texting, they're on social media, they're constantly connected, and they think maybe it's old hat to be like a Gen Xer or a boomer and sit where you go, I'm going to turn my phone off and enjoy the movie for 2 hours, and then when I get out of the movie, I'll turn my phone back on. Gen Z, everyone's saying. Yeah, now, I'm not saying this to bash that group, because like my kids are in that group and who cares, right? Everybody's different, and to make fun of this younger group makes you like, well, not in my day when we rode an atomic bomb to the forest. I'm just saying that I think Hollywood's scared, Mag, that they now have to work with a customer base that doesn't want to sit in the movie theater, or maybe doesn't want to sit in front of a 40-hour or 80-hour video game and not be on their phone or not be, socializing or whatever.
You're not wrong.
It's kind of an eye opener.
There's two sides to this though, and I'm going to bring this up as two sides. Like my kids are like androids. They're ridiculous. Like they're not like they have like these superhuman brains that don't work the same way our brains do. My kids could be playing, like my son could be playing Call of Duty, Fortnite on his tablet, on his phone, and then doing a group chat all at the same time, and still have 19 kills and 1 death in 1 round of Call of Duty.
We suck!
And have 5 screens going at once and not skip a bloody beat. And I just sit there going, Jesus, look at this. I mean, and it's amazing what they could do. However,
yeah, but when you tell them to take out the garbage, he's like, I don't have time.
Yeah. Well, that's that's a whole other thing. But yeah, you're not wrong. But here's the other thing, though. When Hollywood, you brought up Hollywood. When Hollywood or video games gives the people what they effing want, they dish out the money. People have been asking for decades for a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie or a multiverse movie with all the Spider-Man. They've been talking about it for years, and everybody said, if they make it, that's going to be awesome. They made it, and the movie made $2.4 billion. It was the biggest movie in a decade. Beat out Star Wars, for crying out loud, right? And because it's what people want. People wanted Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, I mean, also gave everybody
Wolverine.
what they wanted. You got the young fans that like Holland, and then
Sure.
you got the fans like me that really love Garfield and Maguire, and you got everybody got what they wanted, and they did it great. Or the Miles Morales movies, like both of them are freaking awesome because they just give you. What was the last movie, Mag? While you're on this rail, what was the last big movie that kind of gave everybody and everybody just went and started spending money? Was it Oppenheimer, Barbie movie?
You would say Barbie was the bigger one. Barbenheimer, whatever the hell they call it. Yeah, the two movies. Those are the last big ones, and they both cracked $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
So but the thing is, at the end of the day, it didn't do that Spider-Man No Way Home money. It didn't do that Star Wars Episode 7 money. Those are the huge money makers, whatever, right? Because it gave people what they want. Look at this summer. Despicable Me 4 is going to crack $1 billion, no problem. And then the other one is going to be obviously Deadpool and Wolverine. You give people what they want. I want a foul-mouthed, rated R, extremely violent, very bloody Wolverine movie with Deadpool. Make it funny and make it action at the same time. Okay, here you go. They gave us 5 years of absolute dog crap, and nobody went to see it. And Disney's on the verge of bankruptcy. But then they give us what they want, and they're already selling out like the pre-shows, like weeks and weeks and weeks in advance. You can't get tickets for the first 10 days.
Well, thank goodness, because it feels like movie theaters are about to go the way of drive-in movies, where there's we just can't really do it anymore.
Well, that's the thing, but you have to give people stuff that they want to see. And I think that's what it boils down to. If you are able to tap the market, they will come to you if you're able. But the thing is, the enigma now is that they're trying to crack like you said, this Gen Z Zoomer market. They're trying to figure out what these kids want. And here's the other thing, though. A lot of what they want, though, is fleeting. Because when my kids turn 35 and above, they're not going to be playing Fortnite. They're going to be playing the games we like to play because they're going to mature the way we matured.
Yeah.
Right? So people are like, they just want to play online games. Well, all teenagers want to play games like that. Even when we were younger, we were playing in the really rudimentary days, playing Rainbow Six on PC, in the 90s, which was awful, but it was still online. And then the original Xbox.
I loved it, but I don't want to play the games I played when I was 20.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I don't want to.
Our tastes change, so do the kids. And the kids change. Like I said, when my kids become adults and they become our age, they're going to want to play what we're playing. Mature, whatever, story-driven, whatever. Yes, you in the front, Mr. Eastwood.
Can I go to the bathroom? No.
No.
I saw a really cool game last week. It was Contra. It was a Contra, and it looks like it's true. It almost looks like a remake of Contra 1 from the NES. It's got 64-bit or whatever. It has modern side-scroller graphics. I'm like, man, this looks so cool. And then I thought, I'll probably play it for an hour and then I'll say, nah.
And then you never play it again.
Because back in the day when that was the new hotness, or Roller Coaster Tycoon, something like that, those new hot, I just evolve, and I hate that I evolve. And it's weird when we talk about yesterday or last week, Hellblade's been so divisive about how people think of the game. And there was big arguments about if it was great or not. For some reason, I was really vibed in to sit and enjoy that experience. I took it all in. I rarely jogged. I was walking and taking in the vibe, and I enjoyed the game. But
my kids will never play that game.
No, Mike, never.
And then,
never.
They would never even look at Hellblade. They wouldn't have the patience for it or whatever else. But that's because of their age, not because of the quality or whatever else. It's because your mind changes as you evolve as a human being. You know what I mean? It's even when it comes to food, the opposite sex. I don't mean that as a joke. I mean that seriously. Your tastes and thoughts change over the years. You might like brunettes when you're younger. You might like, girls with black hair. You might like blonde hair. You might like, big girls, small girls, this girl, that girl, whatever, tall ones, skinny ones, short ones. And it all changes over time as your experiences around you change. And and the same thing with video games and with food. You could have been 8 years old and loved broccoli. You could be 49 and never touch the stuff because you hate it now, or whatever, right? Same thing with video games. It's all going to change. The thing is that
I can't eat applesauce. I can't. I don't like
applesauce is for babies. It's for babies. I got a great story about that, by the way. When Schwarzenegger was bodybuilding way back in the day, the milk, like the American Dairy Association, were trying to get him on board as a spokesman. And so he was walking out of the gym one day, and they were standing outside with a microphone, and they're like, Mr. Schwarzenegger, you must drink a lot of milk to get those kind of muscles. And he goes, I drink beer. He's like, milk is for babies. And he walked right past them, and that was it. No endorsement after that. Funniest line I've ever heard him say.
Milk is for babies.
Yeah, milk is for babies. Yeah, fantastic line. Anyways, what these companies need to do, in my personal opinion, is keep doing what you're doing, but evolve and make them better. Like the Japanese do with theirs. Constant improvement. That's how they live their lives. Every day, try to be a little bit better as a person, a little bit better at work, a little bit better at school. Constant improvement. And people will come to you if you have the quality product, whether it's a Fortnite, whether it's a Hellblade, or whether it's a God of War.
I want to fold that into Xbox's showcase because
sure,
I put out this video. It was like 19 minutes long, covered everything I thought would be at the showcase. And I get a lot of the same, those games look lame, a lot of first-person games, Xbox can't deliver, that stuff looks crappy, that's trash. And there's some stuff that I'm really excited about that's there. Hey, thanks to Game Seeker, who is a buddy of mine that I met on Discord, played a game with. We chatted back and forth. He wanted to give out a code for platinum currency for Diablo 4. I'm still dropping it in the chat, so have your Control-C, Control-V ready because it's there. And shout out to him, Game Seeker, for being a good friend and being generous enough to bring that onto the show. Let me read some supers here, and then I'll figure out how in the heck we're getting back into this show that Mag and I are just kind of...
No, man, we got to... Listen, I got to tell you something. The chat, we have been totally teasing them for weeks about the showcase, about how we haven't talked about it because every time we get to it, it's like 5 minutes before the end of the show. We're like, we'll talk about it next week. So guess what, folks? Unless Colt's got something else up his sleeve, we're going to be talking about some stuff tonight. So you finally get to hear our thoughts and opinions and some stuff that, well, not everything that we know. That's not fair for the teams, but you'll hear some stuff. It'll be fun.
Yes, and there is some stuff that I'm really confident in, and I'll just say that when we talk about it. The other stuff, we'll talk about like, hey, do you think it's possible? Let's see, we've got, the supers here.
Go for it.
RDX Son of Fett, thank you so much for the Canadian $2.79. Says, Halo goes to Sony, I'm done. Really need dealer back. Well,
No,
let him. Yeah, I don't know when Dealer will be back, but all I know is he just sounds really super happy. And I feel like I don't get to talk to him often, and people have assumptions about why he's gone or whatever. And it's not anything deep. It's just my friends and I often say, like Zocker and Fonz and Rand and those of us and Gaz that talk to Dealer like every day back in the day. Now we less frequently talk to him. I get a couple comments on every video. Hey, how's Dealer doing? Well, he's doing great, but I don't even ask him what he thinks of the gaming news because
don't bother. He's not in it for a reason. Hold on, let me ask him myself. What's that, Colt? What's that, Dealer? I can't hear you over the gag. What's that? Okay, he said this. He said,
"Is he wearing the ball gag?"
Call the police. What's that, Dealer? Okay, cool, dude. All right, just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Zocker's coming tomorrow to pick you up. All right, later.
Now he's like, no.
Yeah. Put me back in the closet.
Yeah, he's doing well, but like I don't even bother, bringing up the gaming news to him because sometimes it's been kind of a pain in the butt for a lot of my close friends and I that are making content, to deal with these things like the multi-platform stuff. We'll talk about that here on the show as well. Okay, where was I? We appreciate that, RDX Son of Fett. Will Lewis, thank you so much for the 2. Says, Black Ops 4 didn't even have a campaign. That sucked.
It did suck. I didn't like it at all. And the gameplay, I didn't like the operators. Remember that? They had the operators that had the special abilities.
Didn't Black Ops 3 not have a campaign either?
No, Black Ops 3 had a campaign. No, can't they just for Black Ops 3 campaign was co-op.
Okay.
And that was a very interesting idea. And I'm like, I'd love to do more campaigns with co-op. And that was really cool. I didn't like the story in Black Ops 3, but the game, but playing co-op with my wife was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But Black Ops 4, remember that? It had the stupid operators that had like the abilities, like you can have a ground pound or you can like pull up a shield. And I'm like, oh, go away. Go away.
Oh, I mean, they put that stuff into the zombies stuff last year, I think. Will Lewis says, I'll play COD on Game Pass, Xbox, buy on PlayStation. I'll play COD Game Pass, Xbox, buy on PlayStation.
I don't even have it here to pull it up. The last one I pulled up is Boner Jam, so I can't get everything that you see.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It sounds like they'll play it, but they'll also buy it on PlayStation. Appreciate you.
Well, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm playing it on Game Pass. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter where I play. I have an Activision ID that's active, no pun intended, active everywhere. I'm buying it for PlayStation because my wife wants to play it as well. So I'm buying it on PlayStation and I'm getting it on Game Pass. So either way, I'll be there. Carry on. Sorry.
RDX Son of Fett, thank you so much for another Canadian $2.79. Hey. He says his Dreamcast guy, the ultimate Sony pony. No, not even close.
No. I did a show with him last week, actually. We were talking about some pretty interesting stuff. He was making some pretty interesting comparisons with Hellblade. He didn't like it. But hey, man, that's their prerogative. Yeah. Like look at Zocker. Like Zocker is everybody, a lot of people know Zocker is a big Xbox guy, whatever. He gave the game a 5 out. He gave the game a 5 out of 10. And that's fair. Am I going to stop being friend? Am I going to stop talking to Zocker? No.
I mean, look, I still talk to Tim Dog, and he's the ultimate Sony pony right now.
So am I. So, I mean, we get along, but,
Here's my public service announcement. There's people we don't like on each side of the fence, right? Or we don't like the way they cover the news or whatever. Like, people don't like me and that sort of thing. Like, but just
I barely
stop
like
talking about how someone looks. Or you don't need to make fun of how somebody looks if you don't like their take on a game. Like, just leave people alone that way. Please. It just makes everybody look bad. But, Dreamcast guy's a nice guy. He puts up a lot of crap. But Dreamcast guy, stop talking about Hellblade. Like, there are games that I don't like. I'll say it once, and I won't say it again unless somebody asks me. Like, let me give you a good example so that you can razz me all you want. I didn't like Hades. Now, I know everybody loved it. My good friends were addicted to it. They couldn't get enough. In a game of the year. And I played, I'm like, I don't like this. And I said it once, and I walked away. Now, I have a good friend who will remain nameless, Mag, that will not stop talking about how Hellblade isn't a good game. And I'm like, bro, you say it once, you fix it, and you Rod Propeel that thing.
Listen, it's basically out of the new, it's almost out of the news cycle anyway, because I mentioned that last week that was going to be a problem because people can finish the game within a day or two. And I'm like, that's not really great for the game. Because now people are not going to really be talking about it. I mean, it'll come up again like during award season because it'll win technical awards. Like for sure it's going to win like maybe art direction. It could win
Mathis, by the way.
What?
Call out Mathis in the chat. We got a couple people in the chat love it when you call out people. He says, Mag, you haven't grown up.
I can't even read that. That's so funny. Matt House, that was awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciated it.
Just say I saw what you said.
Yeah, no, I saw what you said, though. There's no question. There's somebody else I see what you said, Mr. Darby. You've been talking smack all night. But I remember him from the Gaming After Dark days. But yeah, seems like you swallowed a few bitter pills there, sir. What the hell are we just talking about? Oh, about games and stuff. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Like, it's out of the zeitgeist now. Fine, if people don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, like it. But like, there's no point arguing about like if I dislike something or you like something, and you know what I mean. If we're not going to change each other's opinions by giving each other crap about it. That's so like simple-minded and stupid. Like if you say I don't like that. Am I going to argue with you because you don't like it? No, because it's not going to change your mind. That is what a simpleton and a fool does. I just say, cool, man, tell me why. And then you just absorb that information as to why you like it or don't like it. And then I say the same thing to you and you absorb the information as to why I like it and don't like it. That's what's called opinion. and everybody has one. So that, you know what I'm saying? It's so stupid.
And I don't want to be the guy that's like, don't
people
do
were attacking
this.
Docker all week because he put his review up, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'm like, good for you, dude. He gave it a 5 out of 10, and I'm like, good for you, brother. I said, you know, it's too bad you didn't enjoy it, and whatever. Move on to the next game. Who gives a rat's ass? Because in 10 days, no one's talking about it. It doesn't matter what game it is, unless
numbers are way
game.
down on Hellblade too. Numbers are way down on it. It's not. It's probably not going to make a lot of money. I don't know if it jumped up Game Pass, and I really hope that Ninja Theory, you know, decides, hey, let's do something different. Let's do something exciting on our next game, and then we'll come back around and do the next chapter of Hellblade.
Like I said, it's just an opinion of how people feel about it, and you move on. That's all there is to it.
Hey, overwhelmingly, Hellblade 2 was a 9. Overwhelmingly, you know, and it's an 8. It's an 81 because it got low marks from like 10 or 15 reviewers out of 85. You know, and that's just how the mathematical equations work. That, you know, they should have done something bigger and better. But I really enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. What'd you give it?
Can I? An 8. Although it was sort of dipping, like there was points there where I'm like, this is kind of dropping to a 7 here because I was losing interest because the story was convoluted, and I'm like, and seeing that the story is such a big part of it, like you could play a game that has ridiculously awesome gameplay, and I don't care what the story is. Like Japanese games, for example, you play like a Stellar Blade or like whatever, you know, like the Japanese games are known for having outstanding gameplay, or the Souls games. Souls games have fantastic intuitive gameplay. And the stories are utterly ridiculous and nonsensical. But I don't care because the game is so damn good. The thing with Hellblade is that the gameplay is not good because you're just walking a lot of the time. And they have this combat. So the story's got to be top notch.
It's walk, combat, puzzle, walk, combat, puzzle. And so it's kind of decently paced that way. But in the end, you're like, what did I do? And they did some of that really well. But, you know, I also feel like its shortness serves the experience. Like if that was a 20-hour game, would you and I have made it through?
No. We talked about that last week.
That's not a compliment either, right?
No.
I felt like, because you and I were both like, I'm enjoying this. Like you're walking up this hill and you're like, I know I'm coming up over the top of the hill and I'm going to kind of like trot down to the bottom of the hill and see the finale, and I'll be done, and I'll say, hey, I'm glad I played that. And when it comes to video games, it's like, really, isn't that what it's all about? But the problem with Xbox right now is they're so under the microscope that every release is a do or die situation for them. And Hellblade was not a winner when it comes to sales and Game Pass. Sorry.
Well, that's the thing. We talked about that, and that was another thing. Now, this is where people have trouble separating quality from reality. And what is that? Yellow vodka? Obviously. So here's the thing.
It's a yellow vodka. Hold the milk. White Russian. Yeah. Yellow Russian. Hold the milk.
Yellow Russian.
Yellow Russian. He's got jaundice. Go ahead. Somebody wanted me to go mag.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Go for it. That's a good soundbite. We should record that. Reality and quality are two different things. So a lot of people can't separate that. When I talk about, like I talked about it last week on I was on Brap last week for about an hour. We were just chit chatting, and actually Dreamcast guy was there, and we were talking about exactly that, where he didn't like the game, but I did, and we were totally cool. No one was like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Surprise.
Like my score was double his. He gave it a 4 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
You know what? That's it. We're getting into this. We are getting into this, Mag.
What? So hear me out.
You sexy son of a biscuit.
Yes.
Answer me this.
All right.
Okay. I personally feel, and help me out, chat. I need your support on this. I personally feel like if you give a game a 5 or a 4 or lower, it's because it was broken, buggy, or unplayable. Now, Hellblade was none of those things. And I refuse to believe that someone thinks Hellblade was so boring and so unenjoyable that they would give it a broken, buggy, or unplayable score. Because when I've looked at game reviews for the past 15 years or 18 years, I've looked at them like very closely since the game trailer days. All right. And I've looked at them, and I've looked at all of these games that have been out that I could buy or did or watched reviews on. And I've seen for 18 years that 5s and 4s were relegated to broken, buggy, garbage games that were unplayable, were just absolute trash. And if you got somebody, I don't remember the guy's name you said, and I don't care, don't tell me again because I've never heard of him, that says that game's a 4 when it's got some of the most incredible visuals we've ever seen in a game. It's got some really cool combat, and it's got great immersive storytelling. Well, the story is like, okay, I gave the story a 7 out of 10, right? So there's no way that you're giving that game a 4 unless you've got an agenda. And I did not give Hellblade an 8.5 because I have an agenda, because, everyone's like, you're going to give it a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed my time with it, but that's my personal opinion. So I'm sorry, I ranted on soapbox. Like, chat, help me out. There's 900, shout out to 900 people watching. Sorry if I seem a little bit perturbed, but we appreciate you. Hit the like button. I haven't even reset the show. This is XC Podcast. I'm here with Mag, middle-aged game guy, who is my Canadian friend of wonderful Italian persuasion. And we're talking about somebody giving Hellblade a 4. Everyone has their own right to give a score on a game. It's their own personal thing, but I'm just saying that I've seen all these reviews, and 4s were usually relegated for broken games like Amy or Ride to Hell Retribution, where the gameplay was just so choppy and convoluted and horrid that they gave a game a 4 out of 10. So I don't know. I think that's, I feel like I'm just being extra on that one. Mag, say something.
Lieutenant Skew, this guy, he don't block his little chitty chats there. I want to read them. He's like, bring Gaz back. This guy is nuts. What are you even doing? Cook us a pasta. Let me tell you something, Lieutenant Skew. I've got a 9-inch linguine right here. You can have as a dish. All right. Yeah. Right over here. Right over here. All right. Yeah. Anyways, carry on.
Lady in the Trampet, buddy.
Gaz hasn't been on the show for like 15 glorious months, by the way. And actually, he was chased. Who's counting? And he was chased right out of the industry completely. See what happens? Scumbag. You're not even a real lieutenant. You're not even a real lieutenant. Guaranteed.
We love Mag. We love Mag. Mag, I'm sorry.
He probably mops the floors in the gulag. 100%. That's what he does. Oh, I'm a lieutenant. That's what he tells the girls.
Lieutenant. Yeah, lieutenant.
Lieutenant Dan. No, that's a lieutenant. Anyways, the reason
ice cream, Lieutenant Dan, ice cream. What do you think about it? Do you think a 4? Do you think I'm being too harsh? Is a 4 relegated for a broken game, or is it just so unenjoyable that you gave it a 4?
See, now here's the thing. Now my question is that we were talking about that, and now Zocker gave it a 5.
Yeah, he has no taste though.
But so that. So like there are some people who did the scores are wild. So like I see 7s and 8s are about the middle of the road, 8.5 like you gave an 8.5 whatever. And they're even on the higher end of things, right?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Linguini, thank you, man. Fantastic name. Yeah. Yeah, Magnum. He's like Mag's Italian. That explains why he has a big loud mouth. Yep. I make your mom scream a lot too. She got a big mouth.
Mag!
Anyhow,
he really did.
Yeah,
I was there.
Oh yeah.
Rob, you were there.
Yeah.
What movie's that from?
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh geez, what was that from?
Do you know? That's pretty obscure.
No. I remember that one too. I remember that. Rob, you were there. Yeah.
Rob, you were there, and he's like,
Yep. I remember that. Damn it. What was that from?
Anybody know what that's from? I'll give you a hint. It was 30 years ago. Almost 30 years ago.
Jeez.
Boy, we're really old.
I can't remember.
It was Tommy Boy's speech after he saved Callahan Auto. And he's he says something about, I even lost my virginity to your sister, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Rob, you were there.
Yeah, that's right. And you see his face? Yeah, that's right. Now, here's the thing. I want to get back to this quality versus reality.
Okay.
Please, hear me out.
Yeah.
When I say the game is quality, the game is quality. I gave it an 8. It sort of floated to a 7 depending on my mood that day with the story, because I'm like, what is happening? But anyways, either way, that didn't. You have to look at the other side. The other side is the reality. Did people sub to Game Pass for this? We may or may not ever find out, because
I don't think so.
We won't. But yeah, did it move the needle? I personally don't think so. If you look at the concurrent numbers on Steam, they're actually lower than Redfall's.
Yes, I saw that.
So they're lower than Redfall's. So in respects of reality versus quality, I gave the game quality. I say the game is quality. The reality is, would you call that on a business level, if you're the Microsoft bean counter, is this game a failure? And by all metrics, I would say yes, financially.
Yes.
So you have to look at that, and people lose their effing minds when I say that. And I'm like, guys, I didn't say it's bad. Like, calm your bones, use whatever brain cells you got left. I didn't say it's bad.
That's a really good, simple statement. It's a quality game that is...
But on paper, is it a failure? And see, that's something that you have to think about how they're going to look at Ninja Theory for their next project. Because if you look at a game like Project Mara that they're talking about, right? We know
which
the
isn't a
premise,
game. I don't believe is a game.
I think it's just an experience or whatever that they were talking about, or maybe like a tech demo, something like that. That's something that you and I would be interested in farting around with. I'd be like, that'd be pretty cool. I'd love to play like a claustrophobic sort of horror game in a single apartment. How they talked about it. Cool.
I think it just could be like an emulator. Like, it just kind of helps people understand what other afflictions feel like for people. I don't think it's a game, but.
Now, here's the thing. Now,
say the thing we're going to say about Ninja Theory moving forward.
So now we're going to say, now Microsoft's going to go, okay, listen, have your little team, the little corner of your team, do that Project Mara, whatever you're working on, because you're already working on it. But we need you to do something big. You know what I mean? Like something big and brash that's going to get people's attention.
Do you think Xbox would say something like that? We need you to do
100%. 100%. They already did it with Playground. Because Playground was working on something,
and then
Phil's like, no, you ain't working on nothing. You're doing Fable.
I think
buy it the Fable. That's a splashy name.
Yeah, I'm going to add that they were working on a fantasy RPG. They were concepting it and shopping it around, and then they bought Playground Games. And I think you're right that Phil said, "Let's turn this into Fable," and they were like,
"Right,
okay, boss."
Because it's a recognizable name. It'll make a splash.
Yep.
A lot of people know that. People in the Xbox ecosystem for the last 20-something years know what Fable is. People outside of Xbox know what Fable is because Fable was a huge game. Fable 3 on the 360 was one of the biggest games of that generation. It was a fantastic game, too. Or was it Fable 2? Which one was the better one? I think it was
Fable 2 was like the fan-loved one, yeah.
That was the big one. Okay, sorry. I got it mixed up between 2 and 3.
Well, I mean, people love the first one, too, so you're not wrong. But anyway, go ahead.
Right. So now, here's the thing. So now, does Microsoft look at Ninja Theory and say, listen, guys, great job, great game, but it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. It didn't make a splash. It didn't make us any money. So that would suck. It would really suck. But hey, that's the reality of business too.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like that's unfortunately for any of us in the business, you have to deal with that kind of crap every single day where people are doing their best.
Hey, every band here is
money.
If you don't start getting on the radio, we're not cutting you another album deal. Like
that's the other thing.
Well, how about let me ask you this: is Ninja Theory in trouble of being closed? Because I think we're kind of hearing,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think we're hearing reports that they're fine. They're greenlit for the next chapter in Hellblade, but I'm with Meg, audience. I'm with Meg that they should be saying, hey, you can concept Hellblade 3. That'd be great, the next chapter. But, look at now Heavenly Sword belongs to PlayStation, but like Enslaved Odyssey of the West. They don't own the IP, but all you have to do is say, let's look at Enslaved Odyssey of the West. That was just 10 years ago or 11 years ago. It's 2013, I think. Let's look at that. Look at how that did at the time. Like, we would love for you guys to, and I think Xbox is in the position where they need to say, we would really recommend you guys make something like this. Make an action adventure game. Go for fun, go for big, go for boisterous. Do what you guys do best, and we'll come back and check with you on when you're ready to concept it. I think that's the conversation that Matt Booty should be having. I get the feeling that Matt Booty does a lot of, hey, you guys need anything? No, you're good? You got all your Xerox paper? No, I'm just joking.
See, listen, I'm just speculating, but that would be my guess. If I was in that position, which I am in that position in a different company, obviously not Microsoft, but in a different corporation, I'm in the same thing. That's what I would be doing. I would start asking questions saying, listen, guys, what are we working on next or whatever? Okay, well, listen, we're in the entertainment business. And we need to make a bigger splash.
Sure.
So that's unfortunately, that also comes with what we just talked about. Unfortunately, that's contradictory to what we talked about an hour ago about risk aversion. And you know what I mean? Like you can almost look at Hellblade as a risky title because it's not for everybody.
Oh
right?
yeah, I agree.
It's so in that respect, Ninja Theory did exactly what I said these people should be doing in offering quality. But then you have to flip around to the other side and say the bean counters are the ones who are actually causing this risk averse behavior, saying you did your thing, it did nothing for us or very little. Therefore, you got to do something bigger, splashier, and more mainstream because we need numbers. So it
Yeah.
sucks. It sucks, but that is what I said, the reality versus the quality. So, there's a little bit of that. And I'm not saying that if they do something more mainstream, doesn't mean it's not going to be quality, because that's the other thing. I do not believe. I know some people are like, "Oh, Ninja Theory is going to close," and I'm like, I actually never got that vibe because they're just too talented as of a team to just disband them. Of course, I understand you can also disband them and just utilize that talent elsewhere, but
We're
think
hearing the
that
opposite. Yeah.
I'm hearing the opposite, but them as a team gelling the way they do, I think it would behoove them to stay together and keep them together. But I'm not in charge, so anything could happen. But I would be very shocked if they actually disbanded them or broke them up and then split them off into other projects. That would really suck. But
Yeah,
I don't think that that's going to happen.
It sounds like I'll close this topic. We'll move on to the big one, the two big ones.
Sure.
That they need Ninja Theory for their prowess in Unreal Engine 5, all their technology, their capture experience. Like, hey, maybe Ninja Theory waits a year and helps out another studio do something fantastic and then gets to work on their next title. But I think Ninja Theory is going to be fine. And Mag's right. This game didn't move the needle, and I guess they only worked on it for 2 or 3 years at the most, which is the reality. I think we covered that last week. I want to talk about, I'm looking at my topics, which we got to get into them right away. One of the things I'll add in here is that a bunch of ABK games are coming to Game Pass. Like, remember how ABK had all these titles, back and pat titles and other titles that are available that were supposed to drop into Game Pass? A bunch of Call of Duties, I think it was like 16 or 20 Call of Duty games. I'm hearing that we're getting a group of them to be announced at the showcase, like, hey, ABK and Blizzard and Xbox working together. Here's some games coming to Game Pass. The plan is to release a handful of them every month throughout the next year, because I think there was some 35 or 40 games that are available on the Xbox platform and Game Pass PC. So I think we're going to see a rollout of those. The plan is to put out a few of them at a time. Let's talk about Gears and Halo. Let's see how much time we have. Okay. I want to talk about Gears and Halo because Mag dropped a bombshell at the end of last show where he said Halo Master Chief Collection.
Yes.
On PlayStation 5. And then you disconnected your internet cable and you threw the modem in the pool. So what can you or what do you feel like saying about this? And let's be really careful about this, Mag. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but there's 2 reasons why we'll be careful about this, because of how people feel about this concept and about how it's an unofficial, it's an unproven concept or idea, or it's it's not a confirmed thing, right? So we're just let's pretend that we're just gonna lay this out as a hypothetical. So tell me about Halo Master Chief Collection, why, and all that stuff. What's going on?
Sure.
Why are people upset?
First of all, Maxie Coleman in the chat, he says, Mag, I bet you can't spot this comment. You're damn right I spotted that comment. Nothing gets past me. Well, very little anyway. Yeah, I heard back in January. It was December. It was 6 days before New Year's Eve.
Jeez.
And I got, when I was talking to someone, and that's when he told me about the Gears collection was being internally tested. That the gear, and then I'm like, well, that makes sense because we've talked about the Gears collection for like a year before that, about the idea of, they had brought up the idea. I think one of them said something about UE5 for Gears 1, 2, and 3.
A former Coalition employee said,
"Oh, is it them?"
One of the official things that we can bring to the table when it comes to Gears, because we'll be talking about Gears and Halo kind of back and forth. A former Coalition employee said that they would like to see the Gears trilogy or Gears games on PlayStation. But that's not the reason why I said it in my video or why I'm bringing it up now. So go ahead.
Sure. Magnum, I'm not attention seeking, you clown. Yeah, if I was attention seeking, I wouldn't be talking about the same thing for 6 months. It's utterly ridiculous. And then when you guys find out,
besides, man, it's not hard for Mag to get attention. He does not have to farm it.
No, I don't really need it.
Smiles.
But I can tell you this though. I expect a massive apology tour from a bunch of people that actually. No, it's happening. I want every single one of them that blocked me.
It never happens. Like there are people that attack me. Like I just bring it up. I say in the video, I could see Gears Collection coming to PlayStation day and date, and it's
I literally have all the names.
It's a heat-seeking missile to say it, but like people come at me with insults, and fine. They're never going to come back. And like if it becomes a reality, let's say in the future, they announce it, and then there's the Xbox Wired article. It's coming to PlayStation. No one will ever say, "Hey, Cole, I just want to apologize for calling you a long-nosed Pinocchio." Lying Xbox.
No. They're gonna hide. They're just gonna be quiet for like a week. You're not gonna see them in podcasts. They're gonna be like sheepish and quiet.
It's fine. I say 100 things and 87 of them come true. It's like not a big deal.
I have all their names. No. Like, oh no, it's Alex. He does a show where he's gonna like call them out. He calls out everybody by name. I'm literally gonna have like an entire live stream of just me calling out every single person by name. Yeah.
Hear ye, you frauds.
Yeah, I'm going to have a medieval scroll that I'm going to have made, and I'm going to unroll it with all the names of all the frauds who didn't believe. But anyways, here's the thing. So I heard about the Gears thing or whatever, and then they said that it was coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then they said not that long after, said also Halo Master Chief Collection as well. And I also said that also makes sense. Then there's another one that I will not say because I'm not 100% sure if they're going to talk about it at the upcoming.
Another one.
Another one. Another series. Well, it's going to be a series because one is out, and then there's a second one coming out, and that's also going to be multiplat as well. Not the Doom thing. The Doom thing is a whole separate thing. This is another one that they haven't announced yet because they haven't announced it for Xbox, and I don't think it's fair that I say anything about that because I don't want to ruin that for anybody. And I Risket's in the chat. I was on his show when I told him. I said, "Dude, there's another one," and I think he heard the same thing. He goes, "Yeah, I did hear the same thing." So there's another franchise that's going to become multiplat, but we're going to call it a franchise because a second game is coming soon, and I don't want to spoil that for the Xbox team. I don't think that's fair. From the Xbox Game Studios. I think
I know what you're talking about, and I still don't.
Yeah. Okay, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let me say this, guys, just so you know. I don't like this multi-platform approach. All right, I don't want Xbox to put their tentpole or any of their games that on a PlayStation. I want them to stick to their guns and grow the platform. Now, if other people play games that I have access to or I've already owned or want to own, it's not really that big of a deal to me if PlayStation fans get to play games that I like. But I just don't understand. The reason why I don't like it is they're supposed to, as a business, grow Game Pass, and I really think it takes away so much leverage. If you put a game like Doom, The Dark Ages out, let's say it comes out May 2025. If you do that, and you launch it on PlayStation 5 day and date, you just lost 1 million to 2 million people that might have jumped into Game Pass because, or on the Xbox or PC platform. Like they're just going to stay on the PS5. So of course, my issue is, there's a lot to say here. Maybe the bean counters, like you talked about a minute ago, maybe the bean counters are looking at it going, we could grow Game Pass this much, but look how much, let's say we grow Game Pass this much, we make this much money. But when we release on PlayStation and Game Pass, we make this much money. And that's all the bean counters need to know. And they're like, forget exclusivity. I don't like that. But I am not going to sit here on my channel, on a video, or on Twitter and go, please, Xbox, you're killing the brand. What are you doing? You have to believe me. And people tell you, like, put up a fight, Colt. Like, I'm not going to cry over other people playing video games when it's a business move that Xbox painted themselves into because the FTC thing and the ABK thing went sideways like nobody, except for Colin, where I already saw coming.
The thing is that this news came out And well, not came out. I said it on Risket's on Risket's show. Well, I was on the show with Risket, and we were talking about it back in January. It made a big splash. It got out there. What the hell's his name? I forgot his name now. Damn it. He's the guy that like once he hears your podcast, he like spreads it out, and I can't remember for the life of me.
Astrobot?
No, not Astrobot. No, somebody else. Damn it, I can't. Anyways, I'll remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the point, Idle Sloth, because someone reached out and they go, Mag, you got
I love
sloth.
Idle Sloth.
I love him. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
So someone reached out to me and said, Mag, you've been slothed. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I went to social media and I'm like, oh, and then like even IGN was talking about me. And I'm like, oh, shish kebab. Okay. So this became a thing. Then Xbox or Microsoft or Xbox didn't say anything to corroborate these rumors and this and that. They just kept quiet, which is fair. That's their business. And then everybody called me a fraud and this and that, blah, 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 and a fake insider, blah, blah, blah. And then everything went silent for about 3 months. And now, miraculously, not from me, that news starts coming out from everybody else. Wowie. Isn't that weird?
Oh, God.
And so it's all coming out now again. So now I'm like, okay, well, I told you guys like 5 months ago that this was happening. And it's fair that you don't have to believe me. It's fine, because I don't have a long proven track record of this stuff. I hear some things, but now I actually have people from Microsoft that I speak to regularly and whatever else, and that's fine. And
you are shiny and new in this whole ordeal, aren't you?
Well, I've been in the insider stuff, yes.
Yeah.
But not in the. I've been doing podcasting for 4 years, but still, the point is, yeah. So, but anyway, the point is that there's another thing, game that's going to become a franchise very soon. There's going to be sequels, and those sequels will be multiplat. And then, of course, people think, oh, that's crazy. Well, it's not crazy because Doom, the Dark Ages, just like they're saying, is going to be, that's a third installment in there. Yes, 1 and 2 were on everything.
I'm feeling very confident that Doom, the Dark Ages launches day and date with PlayStation. Yes. And I still think it's stupid. And like I said... Somebody in the chat was like, imagine Colt thinking he knows more than $1 trillion company. Well, I'm not actually far off. And I already told you, if you're listening, that if the bean counters see that they make a little bit more money, I'm like, how much does it need to be, Meg? 1% more? And they look at growth trajectories, they will stay multi-platform. And that's just, I think because we're hearing this, that must be what the charts say.
Now here's the other thing. I wanted to bring this up as something else, because some people also twist these words. And you know what? This is why we do this on a live show, that people can actually listen to what we're saying, as opposed to like one line on Twitter or whatever, right? Yeah. The other thing is, and I'm very confident in this, that when they say, oh, but then Gear 6, and I'm like, Gear 6 will not go day and date on PlayStation.
There it is. It is.
The new Halo, which they will speak about some point this year, will not go day and date on PlayStation. They don't. That's the part that I'm trying to get across to people. I saw some people on Twitter talking about me. Funny enough, it was in a random conversation and my name came up. I wasn't even tagged. It just said Meg, and I'm like, oh, they're talking about me. That's weird. Mm-hmm. So I saw what they're talking about, and they're like, no, dude, what Meg is trying to say, which I have been saying, is that they're utilizing this, yes, to get more money from whatever, so you get more engagement. But do you think they made their money on Halo Master Chief Collection at this point? I'm pretty sure they have.
Okay,
what they're trying to do is they're trying to expose people who haven't played the game
and reinvigorate
the series, announce a new one, and say, hey guys, you want to play the new hotness? It's over here.
Meg is Uncle Phil 2.0.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, how is that hard to understand?
Okay.
Gears of War. Sorry, go ahead. Before I get
No, I think I'm going to say what you're about to say. Justy Spud says, Mag is Uncle Phil 2.0. It made me laugh. And shout out to the chat. We appreciate you over 900 watching. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show.
Except for Lieutenant Dan, wherever. Is Lieutenant Dan still in the chat? Please say hello.
Lieutenant Linguini. Mouthful of linguine. I don't know.
And speaking of the fraud himself, Zocker87 is in the chat.
Shout out to Zocker.
Zocker, I want you to rewind. I know rewind's an old.
Shout out to Zocker for hiding for 6 months while Xbox went through their most difficult situation, their most difficult time ever in the business. He hid under a rock and played World of Warcraft, chatted with me every single day, and then he comes out and goes, I think I'll make a video about the showcase. I'm like, Zocker! It was a good video. But yeah, check out Zocker's
Yeah, see,
content.
like Jesse Darby saying whatever he's saying here, they're not bringing everything over to PlayStation. That's another thing. Like
Okay,
I said, I say it every week.
That's
Only
what I was
a
going to
Sith
talk
deals
about.
in absolutes.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi 2005.
And the sane is an absolute sane, so it's a paradox, and the universe explodes. Okay, so this is going to sound like damage control, but you guys have to remember when Mag and I say, hey, Halo Master Chief Collection and Marcus Phoenix Collection coming to PlayStation day and date. Whoa, check it out. Leaning Tower of Pizza. Those games are like 18 years old. Like, kind of. Like,
yeah, no, you're not
Gears
wrong.
3 is 11 years old, and Gears 1 is 18 years old. So 11, 13, 15, 18 years old for those 3 games, right? Halo Master Chief Collection is 20 years old to... Master Chief Collection has ODST and Reach, so that series is a decade old. Of course, the games themselves and the versions, like all revamped the way they are, they're a really nice package. They're not 18 years old, but you have to understand that if Xbox's idea is to show you the Marcus Phoenix Collection, all redone in Unreal Engine 5, bringing back all the feelings of a game we loved back in the early 2000s. And then they fade to black. And then they show Gears 6. And it looks eye-droppingly, iris-meltingly good. It looks freaking amazing. And then they're like, on Xbox and PC Game Pass, right? If you're a PlayStation fan who's like, I've always wanted to get into Gears, but I refuse to buy an Xbox, you play the Marcus Phoenix Collection, how am I getting my hands on Gears 6?
Right.
I think it's kind of a risky move business-wise for Xbox to say, to string the carry along, like, hey, do you want Gears 6? And they're like, nah, I'll just wait for you guys to port it to PS5. So, I'm not on board with that, but that's what they're doing, I think.
But if it's hot, it's hot. People will follow it. I mean, I know some people, like, PC players are extremely patient. They'll be like, I'll wait 17 years to get a PC port. And I'm like, you could just play it like tomorrow, if you're not such a whatever. But like, it is what it is. And so I see them stringing that carrot along. I see it as a good move. And the thing is, eventually, first of all, what you do.
I love that do.
Yeah, what you do is you get Gear 6. Like I said, Gear 6, Xbox Series, PC only, right?
Yeah.
And you don't give a PlayStation date. It's not like you say, and then, and by the way, and then 11 months later, it's coming to PlayStation. You don't say anything. You just leave it alone. Just like how PlayStation does with their exclusives going on PC. They don't tell you when. They'll do it willingly.
Oh, they're the worst. They're the worst. We'll never know.
But are they, though? But are they the worst? Or is that smart? Because at that point, they're going, you know what? Because people are saying, man, I don't know how long
Xbox has promised to leverage almost 30 studios to bring world-class first-party games.
Whatever, fill in the blank, right? And so you don't know when it's coming. Xbox, you do the same damn thing. You get Gear 6 and the new Halo, which there is one in development. Actually, there's 2 titles in development. But, that's neither here nor there, because one is outside of 343. But anyways, those are just whatevers. The point is that then you can only get it on the Xbox Series and on PC, right? But those other ones, those legacy titles that we've already played or whatever else, I know that the Marcus Phoenix Collection and UE5 is going to be absolutely an entirely new experience for us. It's going to be face-meltingly amazing, and oh my God, it's going to be a whole
eye-droppingly good.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic, and eye-droppingly, it's gonna have to be something incredible, and it's gonna have to be 60 FPS, or I'm gonna, it will be. It'll be 60 FPS, and they do what they do. People are on PlayStation gonna be like, holy crap, that was amazing. If people were if they were like number one selling game was Sea of Thieves, imagine what Marcus Phoenix could do.
Yeah.
Imagine what Marcus Phoenix can do. And then same thing with Halo. Halo, I don't think will have as big as a splash because it won't be remade in RE5 or UE5. It's going to be the Master Chief Collection that we got already. So you're going to get Halo 1 and 2 that are obviously very dated in terms of looks, but gameplay is still fantastic. And then 3 and up, which
2 looks good. 2's been upgraded 8-10 years ago.
Yeah, that's 10 years. Cool.
Actually, 3 is the ugly one. Out of the Master Chief Collection, Halo 3 is ugly in comparison to the rest of them.
In comparison to the rest, yes. But still, it's not going to look like Gears of War with Unreal Engine 5 remake. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to look. That's going to be a stunning experience, and that is going to break. I think it's going to get not break records, but it's going to be earth-shatteringly big on PlayStation. And then what happens from there? People are going to say, "There's a new one coming out." Yeah, but it's only on Xbox and PC. They're going to go over there. If they really loved that game, they'll go over there and they play it. It's a gamble, a small gamble, but it can't be any worse than the engagement that Xbox is getting now. So you got to think about it that way. Like the last Gears game did all right for a little bit, but it dropped like a stone very quickly. That online engagement, same with Halo Infinite. Like, come on, man. And I'm not talking
weird.
Smack about Xbox.
That's not normal for Xbox has these 82 to 85 rated games out of 100, and they just
Halo Infinite was 87.
Die.
Was it 87 or 89? 87, I think.
Yeah, but it had its own problems.
But it was a great game. I loved Halo Infinite, but
really
nobody was playing it because the online support was not there, at least at the beginning. It is now. The game is amazing now, but I'm not playing it now. I was playing it a year and a half ago. You know what I mean? And so, like, they kind of missed the boat there. But, like, they got to try something. They got to try, like, in my opinion, like, get those numbers up, get people over there. It's a bold cotton strategy.
Bold cotton strategy.
It's a bold cotton strategy. Wow, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Bold
Red Wolf's gonna love that you said that. It's gonna be our new thing to say. It's a bold cotton strategy. Yeah, I love that.
I can't believe I just said that completely backwards. See what happens when you get old, kids? Anyways, I think that it doesn't affect me. I mean, like me personally, I'm getting the game wherever I'm going to get the game.
Yeah.
I have access to Game Pass. They're going to put it on there. I have no problem with it. I know people are going to be pissed off and triggered by all this conversation, but it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And there's nothing you could do about it because guess what? It's their business, not ours, not yours. We can't gatekeep something that doesn't belong to us, and they're going to do what they're going to do. It's your choice at the end of the day. I'm going to look right in the camera. You as a customer, it's your choice to do what you decide to do with your own money. I know some people are saying I'm leaving the Xbox ecosystem. Those games go over there. Fine. No one's gonna.
I hear that
you
too.
do whatever you do whatever you want to do. No one's gonna stop you, and it's not gonna change anything. So at the end of the day, you decide what to do with your money, and that's it. That's it. There's no arguing. There's no console wars. It's just they're offering something. And whether you want to buy it or not, that's entirely up to you as a consumer.
I just think it's weird when people say I'm switching. I'm like, what?
But switching where?
I said that before. I'm like, what? You bought your console for $500 or $650 or whatever it is in other countries or whatever. You bought your console. You already own it. Like you're going to lose money when you get rid of it. And like sticking to the man. It's like the day when I threw away my Blockbuster video card because I was sick of their business practice. And I remember I was like, I'm going to show them. And somebody goes, show them what? They don't care. You're just one customer. I don't know what we can do as a fan base to reverse this train, which I think is going into Xbox being on every screen. And if some of this hypervisor thing or letting other manufacturers house the Xbox experience on their PC, I don't know, on different hardware. Maybe the future is like a really cool tablet that you can sync your controllers to, and it's really powerful. It's kind of thick, and it can play AAA games. And Xbox, like, we're there, and they just surpass PlayStation because they're available to everybody. Their games are so big, they're available to everyone. But part of me is like less and less. I'm like, I have a really great PC. I've got both of the big consoles. I've got the Switch if I care to, and it's
nobody
like
cares
the days of that just your console being housed in this walled garden. I think those days are really numbered, even for PlayStation in a lot of ways. And when they're when their guy says we want to be everywhere where there's compute, I'm like, well, I don't think you mean Xbox, but you surely mean everywhere but in Xbox. Sorry, if you're watching the show, I've got actually just running. It was my audio overtook you for about 10 seconds. About 10 minutes ago. Sorry about that, Mag. I've just got my last video playing. I'm going to loop it like twice where you can see all these games that Mag and I think would probably be at the showcase. So let's move into talking about when Uncle Phil, when everybody plays, we all win. Let's talk about what we will see at the showcase. Is there anything, Mag, that you've heard from talking to people that you're like bona fide's going to be there? We'll kind of start with the surefire games that are going to be showing up. I'll let you start because I've already gone over them in great detail to make the video. What's going to be there?
Nothing different than what you said. What you said and what you've heard. There are two things that will be announced. It's not guaranteed it's going to happen in the summer, but it will be 2024. But I'm not going to say what they are because we talked about that already. I don't think it's fair to some of the teams that they want it to be a surprise. So I don't want to be that guy, and I'm not going to be that guy because I don't think that that's fair. And no, that's not a cop-out saying, he doesn't know anything. He's just saying that.
Mag makes a good point, audience, because and shout out to everybody. Mag makes a good point because most of the stuff that we will talk about or that was in my last video are games that we've been waiting for years to materialize. Like you're talking about Fable, Avowed, Perfect Dark, these games that we already know about. Now, when a team is ready to say, hey, look, we've got Banana Simulator, if for us to break something like that is really crappy.
That's not fair, and that's really crappy. It's just like when that kid broke the code for like GTA 6. I mean, we knew GTA 6 was eventually coming, but like to do it the way they did and stuff, that's not nice, and it's not fair to the
crappy looking tech demo running of Grand Theft Auto 6. It takes the wind out of your sails and it ruins it for
it's same with Wolverine.
So what's bona fide to be there? Oh yeah, no Wolverine at State of Play. State of Play is coming at the end of the month. I think like the 30th, 31st. And
I don't know.
What's bona fide to be there? What's guaranteed to be there, do you think?
Well, we can guarantee we're going to see what games are coming out the rest of the year. So we're going to see I think we're going to see some solid gameplay of Indiana Jones. Okay. We're going to ignore Call of Duty because Call of Duty is a separate show. So we already know that that's coming. That's going to be a deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That follows the direct. So forget about Call of Duty. It's not in the conversation. Indiana Jones, though, and Avowed will have to be shown in much more detail. I'm thinking at least 5 minutes of gameplay. Where they show a proper vertical slice of what's going to be happening or whatever else. Now,
what about Banana Simulator? Is it going to make a
Banana Simulator is 100% coming. Day one Game Pass, obviously. Thing with Indiana Jones, they're going to have and Avowed, they're going to have to make a big splash because some people, the way that they revealed them, actually, Indy Jones was revealed just fine. However, some people talk about the gameplay looked like, that first person looks kind of janky. I don't like the way he runs. The whip looks like he's got a big brown spaghetti that he's flopping around.
The linguini, you mean?
The big linguini for Lieutenant Dan in the chat? Yes.
By the way,
you know what I mean?
The XNC podcast does not condone or endorse the big brown linguini. Okay, that's not endorsed here on the show.
What are we talking about here?
The whip. Can I just say, I know people have gripes about the first-person combat in Indiana Jones, but unless you have a QuickTime event, this is how first-person combat looks. If you have any melee-based combat or a whip or a chain in first person, like this, every game, this is how it looks. Because unless you take over and when games first person look the most amazing is when it says hold square or hold X to take down the enemy, and they're like, and they do a stab, and then they grab them and they pull them down and they break them down to the ground, and it looks amazing, but you didn't do anything but push one button and let the animation play out. Some of the stuff that looks janky on Indiana Jones is on every first-person combat game when you have free-form combat going on. Every game. Even Skyrim at the time was always felt weighty and floaty because it doesn't take over. You're hitting hit boxes, and I don't know what else they can do unless they take over.
We have to see what it looks like proper. What we saw were quick clips. We didn't see, you know what I mean? We didn't really see what's really happening. And that's what you need with a 5-minute vertical slice of the game, and we could see properly. Because, there are companies out there like Techland who did like Dying Light series, and that first person mechanics, whether it was the parkour, the running, the jumping, the shooting, and of course the melee combat is spectacular. So if they can pull off something like that and even better, then that's fine. The game will be fine. But so they need to show a deep dive of that game, absolutely, and they have to show Avowed more in depth than it was before, than we got the last two times. Because for me personally, I've said it before. When I saw the first trailer, I was like, okay, well, it didn't show anything really. It just showed like your hand, light up on fire or whatever, and that was it. But then they showed the other one. Then it didn't look so good to me. I'm like, does this look like a regression to you? It looked like it didn't. It looked worse. And I'm like, what happened?
So I've heard that Avowed has got a combat overhaul since we last saw it.
Wow.
And they've moved into Unreal Engine 5.3, which I
did hear that.
I was not expecting that. I mean, I think I'd heard that they were going to do Unreal Engine 5, but they said the same thing for Redfall. They made the whole game in Unreal Engine 4, and for that one. So, I expect to see some cool things with Avowed, but I also think Avowed has the same problem that every other first-person game has. When you have combat like that is not just gunplay, you know. Like if you see Judas, it's first-person combat. Like you could throw out your fireball, that looks amazing. It'll look amazing in Avowed. When you shoot a gun or you shoot a crossbow in Avowed, it'll look cool. But when you swipe them with a weapon, it's always just a little bit.
They got to show it. They got to show it, Colt. They got to show it in detail. What exactly you're getting, because I personally feel from people I've talked to in the community, some people are like, listen, it's Obsidian, leave them alone. They always do great work,
sure,
which generally they do. So they have a hell of a pedigree behind them. So I don't doubt them. I'm just saying the way the game showed did not really give me much confidence. And I'm like, and I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of people going, what was that? You know, I was like, that looked weird or whatever else. So we need to see it properly.
It's a kooky looking game for sure. Avowed is kind of a whimsical, kind of dorky fantasy RPG.
It's got to play well.
I'm getting really excited to play it.
Yeah. So I'm not like, it's not diminishing my excitement, but they need to show it better. That's what needs to happen. It's all about the impressions, right? At the end of the day. So they got to show proper vertical slices of Avowed, Indiana Jones. Now, some of the other things. State of Decay 3 has to be shown. It's been way too long that they haven't shown the game. They need to show what you're doing. Other teams have come in to help them make the game. So that's I don't know if that's all public knowledge. I know some of it is, but I'm not going to say anybody else.
I've heard that the Coalition has been helping out State of Decay a lot. I think that was reported maybe a few months ago or way before. But apparently, whatever the Coalition has done for Unreal Engine 5 on State of Decay 3 is so good. Okay, I'm not allowed to say, but I'm just going to say, it was earlier on here, I was showing the stream, and the stream's kind of running chuggy because my internet is running at half speed today. I don't know why. I guess I didn't pay the water bill. Anyway, State of Decay 3's pre-rendered trailer from 2020 looks really, really nice. It's like, well, that's not what State of Decay looks like. Well, I'm hearing maybe it does look like that. Yeah.
Now, I'm glad you brought up the Coalition thing, because I wasn't sure if that was public knowledge yet, but that's great. So yeah, that's they have been doing work on the game, and you know, it is what it is. We'll see. We got to see what's going on there. I really hope. I know it's just me, but I really hope they focus a lot on the actual open world gameplay and less of the survival mechanics. Like, you know, like Earl's on the ground and he needs an apple, and you know, you go out and you fight zombies, you come back, he's dead because he you know, he's starved to death, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to worry about you.
Yeah, and I hate building your base in State of Decay 2. It is so crappy and undercooked. I want something bigger and better.
Bigger, better, and keep it simple. Maybe not so much simple, but don't make it the focus. Make the focus going out there with a group of friends or whatever else, and all your buddies and this and that, going out, open world, zombie, action, adventure, whatever else. And yes, you can have those elements, but it has to be minor. Like, I'm talking 5%, and then 95% is what you're doing out there in the world. Because that's what, I mean, I know there's people who are into those kind of games, but, you know, it's not, that's not going to be the draw. So that's just my hope, however that goes down. Now, the interesting one was Forza Horizon, Tokyo. You know, I don't know anything about it because I don't have any people
I'm not confident that that's actually ready this year, but it would be weird for Playground Games to move to a 4-year dev cycle when they just moved to a 3-year dev cycle for 5. Like, it would just be weird for them to say, hey, this was always a every other year thing. And then they're like, well, 5 was 3 years. And then because of COVID, and now they're like, we're going to take 4 years to make the 6th one. But they just did, a big update for the Synthwave update, which is really cool. But I'm not
like, do they really need it though, Colt? Because I mean, they've got Avowed, Call of Duty, and Indiana Jones all within like 2 months. I mean, do they really need another game in there?
No,
like a racing game? I don't think they do.
No, but like I said, I don't give a flying crap if Xbox is like, we have too many games in this one season. I don't care. You've made me wait 10 years. Dump them all at once. I'm tired of waiting for games. And hey, maybe someone doesn't give a flying crap about Avowed, but they want to play Forza Horizon 6 or vice versa. So you have to just drop your games. I'm tired of waiting. But I asked somebody who tends to know things better than I, and I was like, do you think there's going to be Forza Horizon 6? And they were like, nah, I don't think so. And usually this person doesn't say, here's what I know. They just like, no, I don't think so. And so I was like, So I'm like 50-50 on the fence about Horizon 6 coming out or being shown.
Yeah,
What they'll do is they'll show it at Showcase, and then it comes out a few months later at around October. So if Horizon 6 is ready, if we see it at Showcase, it's coming out this holiday. That's what they do.
If it's ready. It's ready.
But I'm not sure. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. The Marcus Phoenix collection, along with a Gear 6 announcement, I think that's 100%. I think that's happening. As for surprises, I'm not sure about what Halo. I'm not sure what's going on with Halo, as there's a couple of projects in the works, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. I have no information on what's going on with the show. I'm not going to be that guy that says, "Oh, it's coming to the show," or "This coming to that show," "That's coming to the show," and then it doesn't. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like a week before, I might hear something. Like the last one, I found out a long time, actually a couple of weeks before the show, about the Blade reveal, and so I knew about the Blade reveal, and I think I mentioned it to you. I'm like, dude, they're going to show Blade, and then they did. Gear 6, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of it. That's going to be an end of generation game.
What about Fallout Remake? I'm
Fallout 3
I only
remake,
half believe this thing exists, but you said something to me.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can say that. I'll just ask you, what do you think about Fallout 3 remakes or remaster? Like, where are you at on this one?
I've heard it twice from two different people. One in September and one in the end of December, and it was the same thing that said the Fallout 3 remake is real. So, but the thing is, no basis for that. The other ones,
do you think it's a remake, or do you think it's just a file save as, so it can be on PlayStation?
I don't think. Well, crap. That's a good question. I don't know. I could try and find out. I could dig. Let me dig this week. Let me see if I can find out anything about it.
Please do, because I'm
not getting a lot of info. I'm not getting a lot of info on it. Yeah,
because the Fallout 3 thing is like almost 4 years old. The leak was like came from the 2020s, right? And everything I've heard is like, it's not a remake, it's a remaster. I'm like, why the frick are you doing a remaster? Like, it's already completely remade, or I'm sorry, it's already remastered on Xbox consoles. Yeah. On all of them. And it's on PC however you want all the time for like $3. The only reason you would do a Fallout 3 remaster, a file save as, is because PlayStation hasn't had the game for like 10 years or since the PS4 came out. They can't play it. It's not back compat. They don't have a back compat system for PS3. Well,
in that case, then a remake sounds more viable. It seems like a more viable option, and it would seem like something that you would put in. Maybe that's their answer for the Fallout show. They couldn't get a new game off in time and say, but we can remake one in time, like Capcom does with the Resident Evil remakes. They could turn one around in 2 years.
Well, here's my issue, is we've seen how reactive Xbox and Bethesda have been. There's no way that they were like, hey, we're doing this Fallout show. If it's a hit, we're going to have this Fallout remake ready to go. It's more likely that they decided this year, when the Fallout show broke amazingly, that they would be like, we need a proper remaster for Fallout 3. I would be so mad if they were like, or remake, I'm sorry. I hate this word right now. It's more likely that Bethesda would go, let's make a full ground up remake of Fallout 3 now that the show's amazing. I'm like, yeah, when? In 2 years? Like, we need it now. And it could be now if they're just doing a file save as. But you could really make a mark. And gosh dang, these freaking studios never do this. Almost never do this. Like Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, 1, 2, and San Andreas, or San Andreas and Vice City. Oh, it makes you so angry. Like, Rockstar could have said, we're going to sit these studios down. Rockstar North, whatever, they're going to bust their butts for 3 years. They're going to make the most amazing time capsule recreation of the trilogy. But instead, they did a port of the mobile and PC version, and everybody hated it. And so I have no confidence that Bethesda has thought forward to do, let's do an overhauled Creation Engine 2.0, full reimagining of Fallout 3 that people can play for the next 2 years while we have another studio work on the next Fallout New Orleans or whatever. I'm sorry, that's my soapbox right now. I'm like, I don't believe that we're that lucky when it comes to being Fallout fans right now.
Yeah, sorry. Well, we'll see what happens. I see some people in the chat losing their minds. Listen, guys, relax.
What are they saying? Because I'm like looking at the lens and I'm not seeing.
I know.
Goes, file save as. That's my best way to say when you basically take a game. I'm going to lose my voice. When you take a game that's like already like rocking on the PC as is, they do it all the time.
They do it all the time, yeah.
Mafia 2, file save as, port master. Prototype 1 and 2, file save as. I'm sure I can think of. Chat, help me out with like some really famous. You just gave us you just slightly up resolution and boosted the frame rate. The game looks the same. You didn't do anything else. I'm so sick of those. I'm sorry.
Some of what we say is fact. Some of what we're saying is speculation. The first half of the things we're talking about with Gears Collection, Halo Master Chief, whatever, those things are happening.
I'm very confident in Halo and Gears coming to PlayStation 5. I'll just say that.
We don't need to do proper journalism. We did the journalism right here, right now, live. I don't need a website that I don't have time to write for to tell you that. That's happening. The stuff that we're talking about right now is just stuff that we've heard about but can't be corroborated. So that's exactly why we're just speculating, because we heard these things, but we're not saying it's fact. So if you're able to, put that together in your brain, then that's fine. Then that's exactly what we're doing. So anyways, so that now we're just talking about those things. Now, the other thing, the last thing I was going to talk about, there's a couple things that are maybes at the show. So I don't know, because I don't know until I watch the show if those things actually happen or not, because they could be like, you know what, let's save that for the Game Awards.
I'll ask you a couple.
Sure.
You think we'll see Fable again?
Yes.
I think the game comes out next holiday. Do they need to show it yet, or maybe next showcase?
If it's not going to come out till next holiday, maybe wait till the Game Awards.
Hang on, I'm behind on. Let me read some supers really quick, and we'll get right back into it. Keep an eye on the footage that on screen. It'll kind of keep you abreast of what to cover. So RDX Son of Vet, thank you so much for the $2.79 Canadian. Says Sony console numbers now count the portal. Yeah, that's stupid. That's the dumbest thing. They're counting the portal as a console sale, and you have to own. Don't you have to own a PS5 to use the portal?
Yeah,
what a bunch of jerks.
It's just a streaming device. It's not a native handheld. Yeah.
Dead Planet, thank you so much for the 5. I won't ever put it past Microsoft to mismarket something, but Black Ops 6 is Xbox's last big chance to actually make Game Pass a household thing, in my opinion. Well, I like that, Dead Planet, but I think Black Ops 6, with all the games they have this holiday, where they actually have big games put in Game Pass, that's their big chance to be a household market thing. So, BT Maverick, thank you for the 5, says, do you think on PC Battle.net will try to lure players to PC Game Pass via ads or what have you? Thank you, Colt and Pony Mag. Keep up the great work. BT Maverick loves us. I had this on the topic list. I'll ask you, Mag, so I don't sit here and just talk. There is a Game Pass tier that includes ads, so you don't have to have your regular Game Pass experience price hiked. You think that's what's happening?
They did it for Netflix. I mean, why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's a possibility. Yeah. I don't know as a fact, but I mean, I could see them doing it to get access to more people who don't want to pay. I mean, not don't want to pay, but don't want to pay as much, or maybe just can't afford it. So that's a possibility. And I mean, there is a possibility of like a premier tier as well. I could totally see them doing that. Even though they told them at the trial that they weren't going to do that, which ironically they raised the price of Game Pass during the trial, if you recall.
Yeah, I don't like any of this, but my prediction is that Game Pass, as you see it now, will be the same price with ads. But if you want the upcoming first-party games included, you have to pay for Ultimate. I think it's really crappy.
I think it's going to be, they're going to I think, like I said, I don't know as a fact. I think I could see them completely rehauling the tier system.
Yeah.
And then just say, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. These are the 3 tiers, and then whatever else, right? And then they're going to move on from there. But yeah, I could absolutely see like a premiere. You know what I mean? Like I could see like a one with ads. I could see one with, we will call Ultimate will be considered the norm. That'll be like, like a selection of games,
18
whatever,
or 20 or whatever,
plus Xbox Live. maybe 100 games. I don't know, whatever else. And then maybe after like 6 months to a year, they bring the first party games that come day and date. After then they put it in the other system. Okay. They put it into the Ultimate, and then they have Premiere. I could absolutely see them doing that.
Yeah.
It's not a fact, but I could see that.
I can see it too.
Yeah. Anyways, carry on.
Boner Jams, thank you so much for the $10 super from the Under the Bus podcast every Wednesday on YouTube. Says, evening to Magnificent and my boy Colt. Love you, boys. Have a great week.
You're the best, dude.
Thank you. The scumbag in the chat with the $2 says, I'll talk smack to Mag anytime I want.
I love it. Yeah, no, keep it coming, man. Keep it coming. I don't take it seriously. We just have some fun. Shout
out to Mash, you gifted 20 channel memberships.
Hey.
We appreciate you so much. And shout out to the almost 930 people here checking us out, talking about games. We appreciate you guys so much. You make it all worthwhile for sure. Maxi Coleman with the ARS50 says, thank you, Maxi. If you are on Team Xbox, games like Hellblade or Starfield are a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. That's how you create a narrative. Well, these are great games. These are great games, but I'm waiting for that game that that just gets it everywhere. It gives you all the greatness. And Hellblade, I couldn't stop playing it. I played all the way through in like two big sittings, and I loved it. So Kung Fu Hot Dog, thank you so much for the £2. The £2 super. Says Colt, wish listed Hellblade 2. Agree on Enslaved. Enslaved's great. I'm going to be playing on my ROG Ally on the plane. I'll talk about that at the end of the show. Risker for the Biscuit, thank you so much for the Australian 3. Wait, who's averse to me? Bean Eaters, Jez, what? Yeah, British people. We love them. I don't know. I don't think Jez has a problem with Riskit.
I see Kung Fu Hot Dog in some of the other chats that I'm in, like with Midnight's Edge and Nerdrotic and stuff. I see him doing super chats over there.
He didn't like Hellblade, right?
Who?
Kung Fu Hot Dog. If I remember one of his comments.
I do not recall.
Yeah, I think he didn't like it.
That's fair, whatever.
Fair. Yeah,
it's fine.
My good friend Fonz didn't like it either, and we're still friends. Sort of. Kid Smooth, thank you so much for the $2 super. Says, if Xbox and PS5 were tied, would Xbox still do this? Oh, yeah. Like console-wise, if they were tied in sales? No, they wouldn't.
I don't see them doing it. No. Why would they change the game plan if the game plan is working?
I think this goes against a lot of things I've said in the past, but because they haven't sold enough consoles, they've had to change the way they sell their exclusives. Full stop. But most of the blame, kid, is on the ABK deal. The ABK deal derailed everything.
It derailed a lot of stuff, and it changed the business plan from there, because then they realized, okay, this is a whole different ballgame. Now we're a third-party publisher, one of the biggest on the planet. So now we have to reorganize and restructure our entire business plan moving forward. So if they didn't buy ABK, it would have been business as usual, I think. And anyway.
I also think that the FTC, their bad faith competitive conflict against Xbox buying ABK, like they had all these reasons that were just the judge said, nope, sorry, FTC, you're wrong. And I boasted that when they won, but that whole argument where Xbox is supposedly this massive monopoly is absolute bullshit now when you look at it, where they're dying to compete. They own all these studios, and yet they cannot. Not only are they not the market juggernaut that destroys everyone, but they're still having a hard time competing in a market where even PlayStation's razor thin in their profits. So a lot's changed over the last year. That's for sure.
Sailor Mercury is right. Microsoft stepped in. Enigmatic Dreams in the chat there. It says, Mag, is it official they're going full third party? No, they are not going full third party. They're going selective third party.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We don't know, but I can tell you that.
No, of the ones confirmed, the ones confirmed, at least behind the scenes confirmed. They're not saying they're going, the whole slate's going. No one has ever said that.
Yeah, and there's like the red line comment that people use, but I will tell you this. I believe that Xbox has a time and a place for exclusives, and those will remain. Tentpole games will release only on the Xbox platform and Game Pass. But they're going to pick and choose and make excuses about games that release. And one thing that I think is going to happen that I do not agree with is Xbox is going to look at a pre-existing franchise and say that doesn't count. Now, if that means Doom: The Dark Ages, the third game in the Doom trilogy, they're gonna say, well, the other two are on PlayStation. So now we're gonna make Phil Spencer's comment a lie and saying if it's from us and Bethesda that it's exclusive to where Game Pass exists.
Right.
They're completely backtracking on that, in my opinion, and they're gonna take a game and say, Doom: Dark Ages, that's part of a trilogy that's pre-existing. It's a legacy game. I'm like, but yeah.
And that scoop, ironically, that scoop never came from me or you. I found that out after the fact, where when that hit, I was even like, I was going to talk to my dude. I'd be like, yo, where were you in that one?
Yeah,
I would have
know.
liked to know that one. And actually, I never asked him about that, but it was funny. It's like, where were you on that scoop, man? But yeah, I heard that from elsewhere. And well, actually, it wasn't Jez. It wasn't Jez who was the first one to spill that one. But yeah, anyways, either way, it doesn't matter. The point is that I was shocked by it. So I found it exciting. Now,
a month ago, I would have told you that the next Doom game was going to be exclusive and it'd be a big reason to jump to Game Pass or the platform. And now
I would have agreed with you 100%. I would have said, yeah, absolutely. I could see the new Doom game being exclusive. You know why? Because anybody right now could play the first two Doom games on PlayStation and go, wow, that's awesome. Oh, there's a new one? Oh, but it's only over here. Just like I was saying with like the new Halo and the new Gears. But I guess that just wasn't maybe Doom just didn't sell enough. I don't know. I have no idea.
I think Doom did really well. I mean, Doom.
I'm just speculating. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either, Mag. But I think it's done well.
Someone pull up the numbers on that one. Yeah, Henderson. It was Tom Henderson spilled it first. Thank you.
About Doom coming to PlayStation. Yeah, I think you're right.
Jones are too. Yeah, sorry.
I was thinking about making this video that I was playing on the side for a little while here today. I was supposed to make that video like 2 weeks ago, and a lot of stuff was coming up that I couldn't get to it. If I would have made that video a week or two before, I would have said, hey, Doom. I would have called it Doom Year Zero instead of the Dark Ages. I would have said Doom Year Zero coming. That was like in my notes when I was building the video. Coming exclusively to Xbox and Game Pass and PC.
I 100% would have agreed with you. If I was a betting man, I would have been putting $100 chips on that bet. There's no way I would have bet against that, because I'd be like, no, this makes sense, because that sort of falls in line with my ideology of what I think they're doing.
I'm just bothered that the numbers must be skewed in the direction that if you get subs on Game Pass while you're selling it to PlayStation fans, you're making more money than having exclusivity. I feel like Xbox bought all these studios so they could build up this like juggernaut of, hey, like the Xbox platform has this, and that just doesn't work in a modern era. And I think even PlayStation's had a really hard time. They've had full exclusivity with one of the biggest franchises in the world with Final Fantasy. The last two Final Fantasy games have not made any money. Don't quote me on that, but Square Enix is not happy with the expectations met for Final Fantasy. That's another thing we'll just drop in there. I would bet, bookmark this, Final Fantasy 16 is going to make an appearance at the showcase, and it's coming out this year on Xbox.
Well, they talked about that a while ago. They were saying that they were supposed to announce something back in March about the Final Fantasy coming to play Xbox. But then the news came out about the remake trilogy being exclusive at least until the end of production of the third game. Right? So I was like, oh, okay, well, that kind of squashed that. But it didn't squash the idea of Final Fantasy 16. So, yeah, I could see that dropping in there. And I doubt. Well, no, I can't say I doubt, because they put like a different IP in Game Pass day one. Like Outriders was in there day one from Square.
There hasn't been very many big games like that day one, but Final Fantasy 7 it'll take like a decade to see that on Xbox.
Yeah, because you have to wait for the third game to come out PlayStation 6. And when that comes out for PlayStation 6, it's literally still going to be exclusive, because that's the deal they made for the entire trilogy. So,
is it going to be that long? Yeah, it might be either into the generation or whatever, and then you need at least a year buffer from that to get out of the PlayStation chokehold. We'll call it a chokehold.
I absolutely see it. Now, the last one I'm going to say before we go, because we are running hot.
I need to pack too. I will I'll let you say that, and then I'll stick around to get these supers with everybody on solo, because I got to get packed for my trip to London, which I'll talk about at the end of the show.
We can talk about that at the end of the show.
Go ahead, Mag. You got the floor.
I was going to say the last one, Perfect Dark. Now the thing is, there were some issues at the beginning. Like there were some problems there. Obviously, they had to bring in the what's it called? Eidos,
Crystal.
Montreal, or Crystal Dynamics. Excuse me. My God, I always get them mixed up, those two, because they both made Tomb Raider games. I always get the two. Anyways, they brought them in. They got things under control. There was I don't think there was a lot of production hell with the actual gameplay itself. Apparently, the game plays very well. Some internal testers are saying it's actually running real nice, and it's an excellent combination of parkour and gunplay and some melee combat.
Some John Wick style too, Stu.
Yeah, some John Wick
John
stuff.
Wick style stuff to Stu. Yeah,
stuff to stew to stuff.
What you
it's
do
actually supposed to be quite breathtaking. My only bone of contention that I heard, I heard it looks great, and and apparently from what I've heard, it actually plays very well.
Does Joanna Dark have a rear end?
I would imagine so. Actually, the irony is that it's not so much the gameplay. Apparently, they said that the story is going to piss off a lot of people.
I do not believe that leak. I saw the leak. I can't remember if we talked about that on the show.
You saw that too? No, we never talked about it. But I saw the same one you saw.
You and I bounced back in a private message a couple weeks ago.
It was like a month ago. Yeah, you and I both got the synopsis of the game or whatever. But
what Mag is talking about. Yeah, I'll just be general. What Mag was talking about is that Joanna Dark is this certain type of person, and she's involved with this other person, and it sounded so much like the supposed leak for the next Tomb Raider game that I was like, I think I told you, I wrote back, I'm like, I'm gonna hold this one in the bullcrap category for right now until I hear more, but I also wouldn't put it past a modern game development.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I wasn't going to talk about that one. That's just that. But you got the same thing that crossed your plate, crossed mine.
Yeah.
So and then we talked about it, and then it was like, did you see this? And then I was just like, I read it, and I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. I will put that on the back burner, and then we'll see what happens. At that point, we basically have to wait for the game to come out. I do not think we're going to see this until the end of 2025, but we are going to see it next year.
Okay, so my last question before I let you go. Are you feeling good about Perfect Dark? You think it'll be cool?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm feeling that way too.
Gameplay wise, absolutely. I think I think that the idea of the game sounds awesome.
I hear you get like some Mirror's Edge, some Deus Ex style stuff, so you get dual wielding guns where I think Special Nick was the one who was teasing that you can like ambidextrously use your guns, like kind of gun kana in the game, which kind of seems funny because it's kind of, some of that stuff is kind of outdated fad, but that could really hit in a 2025 era, right? Where you kind of get that stuff that was cool like a few years ago, and then it's just kind of done right. So
yeah. Okay,
Meg, I'm going to cover the supers and the rest of the games while I let you go because it's super late over there in Canadian land. But bro, I appreciate you so much.
Man, it was a great show.
I'm enjoying the show, man. A lot of people here. We appreciate you. Meg, tell people where they can find you, what you're going to do next on TikTok or on Twitter.
I've been quiet in that department. I got something new coming up, a new project I've been working on behind the scenes. So when I'm ready to do that, then it'll probably, hopefully sometime in the early summer, I'll be able to launch everything properly, and we'll see what happens there. So it'll be a new form of entertainment that I'll be heading up. So
awesome.
We'll get to that very soon, and content creation is going to become more prevalent than it ever was for me. So we will see how that goes. But anyways, in the meantime, chat, you're always amazing. Even when I'm talking smack to you guys, I'm always just kidding around, man. I don't care. I don't take it personal, and I hope you guys don't do the same, because I'm just farting around and we're just having a good time and shooting the breeze like you would, just razzing your friends and all that stuff. So anyways, everybody have a wonderful week. We'll see you guys all next week. Colt, I know you're going to tell everybody where you're going, so please travel safe, travel sound, and be nice. And be nice, all right?
I appreciate you, man.
You're gonna be off your home turf, so you don't want to start. I
don't want to end up in prison. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, well, you don't want to start kicking up dust, and when it's not, you're in someone else's saloon.
Right.
So either way, have a wonderful time, and please, obviously, we'll talk during the week. So good luck out there and all that. And chat, we'll see you guys all next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Thumbs up for Mag, everybody. We appreciate him.
Have a good night.
All right. Yeah, craziness. I appreciate you. I'm going to cover the rest of the games. Let me grab these super chats. You guys are amazing. Let's see. We got Risky for the Biscuit, who's been a channel member for 32 months. says, I heard the console ports of Shower with Your Dad and Genital Joust scenes are coming to the showcase. Is this true? Don't lie to me. Classic games. I was actually gifted both of those games on Steam back in the day. Yeah, thanks. And they'll always be unwrapped in the inbox. We got Darth Vinyl 93. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says, we know Sea of Thieves is selling well on PlayStation, but have we heard of any success about Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, and Pentiment selling on PlayStation? Or did they flop? Thank you both for the awesome show as always. Darth Vinyl, PlayStation is doing really well for Sea of Thieves, vice versa. Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment didn't sell anything. I don't know how Grounded's doing. Grounded does amazing on its own, and I've never heard any big numbers from PlayStation. Maybe they didn't play that game, and it's better than all of them combined. So I don't know. The Doctor, thank you so much for the Canadian $2.79, says, yo, would you guys play a 2024 Leisure Suit Larry? I've actually never played Leisure Suit Larry. I don't know. It was during that era when I wasn't playing games and going to college. So no, I don't know. Everybody loves that game. That reminds me, when I was making my video, there's this rumored Wu-Tang Clan. Well, there you go. Here's the story. There's this rumored Wu-Tang Clan game. And I was making the video and I wrote out my script and I'm in front of the mic right here doing the video about the game. And I kept saying Wu-Tang Clan, Wu-Tang Clan, I couldn't say it because I needed to say Wu-Tang Clan, Wu-Tang Clan game. And I couldn't do it. And I said it 3 times in the video and I had to cut it in because I kept messing it up and I didn't even notice I did. So I asked my family, I'm like, try and say this tongue twister. And they said it perfectly every time. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Wu-Tang Clan game. Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan, like over and over. I don't know, I couldn't get it. But apparently there's this Wu-Tang Clan game that is a 4-player melee-based RPG with a bunch of cool weapons. It's got all this hip-hop music in the background that's been reimagined by, I can't remember who it is. But yeah, it's supposed to be really cool. I guess it might be something we'd see. That's one of those games that has been talked about for a couple of years, but it's kind of one of those ruining the surprise. So just take that as you will. But pretty cool concept. People are pretty excited about that. Spartan661, thank you so much for the $5 super says, I want to give a shout out to the real podcasters out there. I wish we had a diverse community in real life. Laugh out loud. We all can have some fun. Well, I'm going to the showcase in June for the Xbox thing, and we've got a great diverse set of friends that we hang out with that are that like all kinds of different games or all kinds of different people, and being there in real life is amazing. So tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning, I'm leaving for London, and I can't say yet what studio I'm going to visit because they haven't given me the green light. There's stuff behind embargo that I'll be covering, but I've got a couple hour drive to Seattle Airport, fly out, drop into Iceland for 1 hour, get back onto another plane and land in London. Gaz from Game On Daily, or former Game On Daily, Septic Sauce, is going to meet me at the airport and pick me up, and we're going to go see the sites, and he's going to show me around the studios and or his studios that he works with, and maybe cut a little Septic Sauce skit live on the air. It's going to be pretty awesome. But yeah, I'm really super excited about seeing him because I've known him for 3 or 4 years now, and to meet someone that you know only through an internet connection is really, really cool. Yeah. So shout out to Infinite Umber in the chat. We got, who else we got? We got Magnum. Says, Colt, you having a stroke? I don't know if he's talking about the Wu-Tang Clam. Clam Tram. What's it called? It was the worst. It was the worst because I had to cut it back into the video, and I'm like, Wu-Tang Clan game. Wu-Tang Clan game. Okay. Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm heading to London. I'm going to be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, come home Friday. I'll leave at 4 in the afternoon from Seattle, and I'll land in London at 11, 12 at lunchtime. It's going to be crazy. So yeah, really, Yodana Kazada's got a super chat. Hold on, I'll get to that in just a second. King Rhino 86, thank you so much for the 5. Says, I can't believe I made a live. I've been watching for a few years. Love the content. You guys are awesome. Video games are the best form of relaxation. Thank you so much, King Rhino, for saying that. It's one of my favorite things to do is just to sit back on the couch or sit in the gaming chair and play a video game and just like get cleaned into the game. Just get into the just the vibe of a video game. Like that's what I was saying. Like I've played so much Starfield, but there was something like I was just in the moment. I was doing the Mantis mission where you go into the secret lair, and I was just slowly looking around, finding cool stuff. I've got a couple survival things going on in the settings. So I was just kind of, I got grab food and eat like an orange box and stuff. It's amazing. Thank you, King Rhino. I appreciate you for watching and checking out everything. Blandall Thor with a super chat. We got the £5 super says, I just want to send you guys some love. You rock. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Blandall Thor. Even the black and white picture of Rand with the eyes closed. Yeah. That's awesome. Nerds and Other Legends, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says, evening, fellas. I really don't understand how they are planning to increase Game Pass subs unless they don't care to or are just maintaining the current subscribers. Well said, Nerds and Other Legends. Like, I really feel like, why are you just trying to maintain? You should be trying to grow that thing like a weed. And I stand by and say you got to have unique content that you can only get within the Xbox ecosystem. You know, there's nothing on Game Pass that you can't get unless you sub. Like you can always buy it outside on the Xbox or PC, but if you put it on one of your biggest customer competitors when it comes to buying mainstream games, like put it on PlayStation, it's like, how are you going to grow Game Pass when you do that? That's still scratching my head. But people who know better than me have said that PlayStation's hurting as well, and this is all like for the betterment of the brand and the health of the industry, and it's probably worse than we think it is. Ernesto Silva, welcome to the early access for becoming a channel member. Yodani says, Manscaped, making sure you get a close shave, but not that close. You best protect your neck. Wu-Tang Clan. And I said it right. I appreciate you, Yodani Kizada. All right, let's see. I've got, let me make sure I've covered all of the games that I've got a list here that I want to explain. And I think there's only a couple here left. We've got, I'm going to skip that one because that's kind of a surprise. Clockwork Revolution, we saw a lot of gameplay in short snippets last year. I don't know, or I don't really feel confident we're going to see it because I think that's a game you show next showcase and it comes out at the end of the year. So I hope it's fantastic and Exile doesn't disappoint. We've got Stalker 2 finally. I don't think we're going to see anything, but it's coming out. Outer Worlds 2, I put in the video, but I said I don't think Outer Worlds 2 is ready to be shown, but maybe they've got something they're ready to kind of tease. Outer Worlds 2 is a couple or few years away. Banjo-Kazooie is one that everyone's wondering about. I don't know if there's anybody here that really cares about Banjo-Kazooie. I don't really per se, unless some amazing team takes it over. The rumor is that Platonics, the team that left the Banjo-Kazooie team from Rare and made their own studio, they've made a couple ukulele games that aren't very successful, never really sold. The fans don't love them like they do Banjo. But it sounds like Xbox may have commissioned them to make Banjo-Kazooie. I'm not real confident about that because if the ukulele games aren't great, why are they going to make a great modern Banjo-Kazooie? I think you need to give it to somebody like Sumo Digital that made Sackboy, or maybe Double Fine, but Double Fine doesn't want to do it. Who cares about Banjo-Kazooie? Let me know in the comment section if you care about Banjo-Kazooie. I certainly don't. Appreciate you guys who are still here while I talk about the rest of these. Wu-Tang Clan. Dang it. Okay. Wu-Tang Clan. I'm going to work on that. It's I don't know why. I guess my brain just can't say it. Wu-Tang Clan. And then to make it worse is the code name is Shaolin. Wu-Tang Clan Shaolin Clan. Clang goes the trolley. All right, who cares? Who wants to know about Starfield Shattered Space? It's supposed to be a big expansion. We'll probably see it. It'll come out. And then there's the rumor that Starfield comes out on PlayStation by the end of the year in September at the Shattered Space. Like, imagine Bethesda puts the full meal deal. Shattered Space, all the new updates, the 60 frames, all the improvements to Starfield, day and date on PS5. Like the first version they play is the 1 extra year, fully fleshed out, amazing package that is now Starfield. Ouch. Ouch for sure. Backstage Boy, thank you so much for the $2 super, says Kingdom Hearts is coming to Steam. Shouts. Yeah, everyone's excited about that. I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan, but everybody loves it. And to go in true form, if I don't like a game, I'll just say I don't like it, and I'll never bring it up again unless you ask me. But shout out to those people that love Kona, Corsica? What's the kid's name? Chobani? Something like that. People who know me know that I will never say a name right if I don't like him. Like if I didn't like Udani, which I love Udani, he's amazing, I would just call him Chobani. I just call him the wrong name constantly, but I love the guy. Sora! It's Sora. There we go. Sora. Oh my gosh. Kari Terrierless says, Colteastwood, think of the powdered citrus drink, Tang. Wu-Tang Clan. No, it's not. Is that what it's called? It is. Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan. I can do it now. Tang. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, Kari Terrier. Appreciate that so much. Wu-Tang Clan. There, I got it. It's taken care of. We'll never have to bring this up again. I know how to say it now. Tang. Tang, I love it. Now, people love Sora and Kingdom Hearts, so that's going to be a good thing, and that'll probably sell really well on Steam. Okay, we've got, I brought up Blade. No, I don't think we're going to see Blade, but I kind of made this video. If you guys watched it, shout out to those that supported the production video for Showcase. I also kind of wanted to show everything Xbox has, like in the chamber for games that are coming out, and Blade is coming out like 2027, I think. So, no, we probably won't see it at Showcase, maybe next year, but it's kind of cool to look at all the cool stuff that's coming. And then the last one is Elder Scrolls 6. No, it's not time to see it yet. So think of Ovaltine, JV Smooth says. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much, I'm getting really excited for Showcase. Last year, I think they showed 50 or 52 games. They're going to have a couple of games that they'll be hands-on for special media people after the Showcase. They've got the whole direct with Call of Duty that I'm probably not super excited to watch because I don't need to see the direct on just a Call of Duty game. But I think Xbox is finally ready to deliver all those games they said they were building in 2018. I'm frustrated that it's taken this long, but I've never run out of great stuff to play, and I'm really picky on what games I play. No, I don't have a quesadilla, Spartan. I appreciate that. I think we're in a really good spot, and I'm really excited. Does Xbox putting games or talking about putting games on PlayStation ruin it for you? Like, do you really feel like you want to leave the platform? Is Xbox going to become like Marvel, just a big brand name that everybody knows, and they put out most of the best games that are available? Because like they have some really great stuff. I don't know. I think the future will always change, and that's kind of it's kind of how we have to deal with it. So, DizGuy07 Jose L says, "Are you excited to go to the UK?" Yeah, actually, I went to Europe a month and a half ago, and I was kind of excited, but I was really nervous. And I kid you not, walking up to the gate to show them my passport, and my wife and my son dropped me off, and I turned around, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go by myself. No. But it was great. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to meet Gaz. I might be able to meet Darj while I'm there. This company that's sending me literally got my hotel and flight information Friday. And I'm leaving this Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So like I've been kind of on the edge of my seat. When this show wraps, I'm going to start packing all my stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I'll be talking about that probably when I get there. By Wednesday or Thursday, I'll be able to tell you guys everything that's going on and kind of give you an idea of what I can talk about and then put together some content. But I'm super excited, really grateful to everybody who's here, who has supported the show. We had over 900 and almost 950 people watching today. We really appreciate your support. I know Mag super appreciates it. We talk about it a lot behind the scenes when we talk. All of you who have helped support the channel and the podcast, it means a lot. And you've really changed our lives in a lot of ways. And to be able to sit down with you guys, like in your living rooms or your garage or wherever you're listening to the show, like I feel like we get to kind of sit down together and talk about our favorite hobby for a couple hours. And I hope that means much to you as it does to me, because I really appreciate it. And every time I wrap the show, I got to put hands together for all of you that make it possible. Udana Kazada, thank you so much for being a moderator for over 150 shows. Happy Bombs in the chat, also moderating, keeping things down. And you guys are all amazing. I'm going to get out of here and get ready for the rest of the night. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all your support. I said it 9 times. There's the 10th time I had to say it. Thanks. I don't know what else to say, but I'm going to get out of here, and you guys have a great week. I'll see you next Monday. I think next Monday, Mag is off, so we'll bring somebody else in to have a little fun. We'll toy with them while they're here. We appreciate you. Hit the like button on the way out. Leave your comments in the chat if you're watching this on demand. Let me know where what you're playing and what you're most excited to see from Showcase. And we're going to get out of here. Have a good one, or at least I'm going to. I'm all by myself. Have a good week. I'll see you next Monday. Bye.